about speaking on things such as faith and politics, we have to remember in a free society, the public square belongs to all of us.
I'm not interested in North Florida looking like Orlando or Miami. I love where we live, but I think that good jobs means that people that live in this district can stay in this district.
Fishing and hunting is funding a large part of your conservation projects in Florida, and we want to make sure that those are forever preserved.
And the problem with this industry at this point is that they actually target our youth. You can see it in their marketing strategies where it's bright colors, fun names.
And that's going to be endlessly litigated.
Florida's Voice with Drew Steele.
Hey, it's Drew Steele. Look, are you still playing defense with your money? Now might be the perfect time to go on offense and seize the opportunities presented by the new pro-business environment ushered in by President Trump and his administration. That's exactly what certified financial planner professional Alfie Townsend and his team at Advantage Retirement Group do for high net worth investors like you. They create strategies designed to help manage taxes, control risks, and boost your financial confidence. It's a forward-thinking approach that can strengthen your foundation so you can enjoy the lifestyle you've worked so hard to achieve. If you're ready to see how Alfie's team can help elevate your plan, call or text VISIT to 239-747-7470. Again, text VISIT to 239-747-7470. Schedule your one-on-one consultation today and discover proactive strategies to help you thrive in an ever-changing world. Again, text VISIT to 239-747-7470. Don't wait. Let Alfie Townsend and the Advantage Retirement Group team guide you toward a stronger, more confident financial future.
I've been dipping snuff for well over 30 years. You know, I could wake up in the morning and have a weird lump in my gums. Guess it's like playing Russian roulette, really. I would love grandchildren. And if by quitting it extends my life some, I would gladly lay it down.
Visit tobaccofreeflorida.com to find free resources to help you quit your way.
Today, push harder, push forward, push vigorously.
There are things that I am hiding from people that I'm trying to inspire.
You can do whatever you set your mind to.
I feel like a hypocrite a lot of the times.
Don't give up on yourself ever.
Smoking, I hide it because I'm ashamed of it. I want to get out of the shadow. I want to show people there is light away from the darkness. I am going to quit.
Visit tobaccofreeflorida.com to find free resources to help you quit your way.
We're with Bridget, whose husband won't be home for months and whose daughter is due any day. We're with Mike, who's leaving home to protect his family and yours. We're with all service members and their families who need community, connection, and maybe a bit of magic. Are you with them? Learn more at uso.org today. We're with Liam after his 4th military move, when being new is starting to get old. We're with Tara during the holidays, when she misses home the most. We're with all service members and their families who need connection, comfort, and a home away from home. Are you with them? Learn more at uso.org today.
Hey, it's Drew Steele, and you know I love the Floor Meisters in Naples. Locally family-owned business, 3 generations of Meisters. Listen, what are you looking for? Carpet, tile, hardwood, a Quartec? Maybe that's what you're looking for. And why don't we talk to TJ Meister right now of the Floor Meisters and find out what's going on with Quartec. What's up, TJ?
Well, we're just keeping up with the demand for Quartec. Just had to order a truck and bring it in from the West Coast of the United States to keep up with all the needs and wants of the people of Southwest Florida. Somebody doesn't have it, give me a call. I probably do.
I tell you, I love my Quartec floor. People love it. What is it about it that makes it so awesome?
Well, it's waterproof, kid-proof, pet-proof. So if you got a pool, no problem. If you got a dog, no problem. If you got a husband that spills, no problem.
Floor Meisters, that's who I trust, and you should as well. 6281 Naples Boulevard in Naples. 239-596-4964 for the Floor Meisters.
Let's see, if something costs less, a lot less, but people are actually happier with it, that sounds like something to look into, and that's MetaShare. Maybe you've heard joining MetaShare can save you or your family up to $500 a month, and that's huge, but it's also true. People are just happier with it. They love being part of something that reflects and promotes their values and what they believe in. Medi-Share works, too. It's been around for 30 years now, and members have shared more than $7 billion of each other's bills. People love having telehealth and a huge nationwide PPO network. So, yeah, really, you can save a ton and like it better. Imagine being happy with how you're taking care of your health care, whether you're self-employed or part of the gig economy, or you just want a plan that you're happy with. Here you go. You can call right now and get a price within 2 minutes. A very, very smart use of 2 minutes. Here's the number you need. It's 855-SHARE-40. 855-SHARE 40. 855-SHARE-40.
Thank you for waking us all up out here, for all you do. And
thank you for giving us a voice.
For being out there helping to keep the constitutional republic.
I want to thank you for
your support for veterans in the military.
Educating us.
Standing up for conservatism.
Giving us the truth.
Florida's Voice with Drew Steele.
Well, hey, everybody. So glad to see you today on Florida's Voice. My name is Drew Steele. Big D on the other side of the glass. You got me in the breaking newsroom, and you hanging out with us at FL Voice News on YouTube, Rumble, X, and Facebook. Anytime you want to watch, anytime you want to listen after the show, you can go to Florida's Voice with Drew Steele, the podcast, Apple Podcast, Spotify, wherever you get it. D, how was your weekend? How was your No Kings weekend? Did you?
I drove past a couple of them, actually, but the weekend was good.
A couple of Burger Kings? Or are we talking about, No Kings. Oh, they mean
No Kings.
The rallies, were they big? They must have been monstrous. It must have been blocking traffic all over the streets, like people in the buildings hanging out of windows. It was that crazy, right?
You know, it was crazy. I woke up this morning and Trump was still not a king. So was it successful?
Yeah. Hold on a second. You get a D ding for that.
Ding.
That's right. That is a D ding, everybody. That is correct. He is not a king. He wasn't a king. Last time we checked, he was democratically elected. Can I say democratically? Yep. And got the D. Didn't he get the popular vote? That's a weird thing when you
crazy, right?
Yeah. I don't know how that works, but anyway, we kind of do. I mean, we have the president that was talking about these No King rallies being small and ineffective. Bernie Sanders puts out a tweet or an X or whatever you call it. He says, really, 7 million people came out for the largest demonstration day in our history. Americans are clear. They don't want authoritarianism, oligarchy, or doubling in their insurance premiums. Okay, first of all, the doubling in their insurance premiums, that's a funny thing because that's Obamacare. You know who did that, right?
Shut up.
Okay, never mind. But anyway, we have that. Also, authoritarianism and oligarchy. And if you said to the average person, what is authoritarianism and oligarchy, the only thing they would say is Trump. And then when you ask them what it means, they don't have a clue. By the way, there were a couple of people that grokked it, if you will, just to double check on exactly what the numbers were looking like. They're not 7 million. They may have been 1 million across the country. Every major metropolitan city and then some smaller places across the state of Florida. If you put them all together, maybe 1 million. So let's not get carried away with 7 million. But it doesn't matter because for Democrats, they can throw out any number that they want. Just make it up as they go. There were 300 million people that showed up to protest this weekend. Can you believe that? 300 million people.
Wow.
Yeah, it's unbelievable. You couldn't stop them, even if you wanted to. Sometimes you can't even stop the crazy left from talking crazily about things like these protests. There's a lot of audio we're going to get to from over the weekend, and really the ones that are definitive, which is the people on the streets have no idea what they're talking about. They didn't know why they were out there. It was really old and really white. That's what it was. A lot of old people. Did you notice that, D? A lot of old people, a lot of white people. That's what we saw.
That's a good point.
Yeah, it's the generation that still believes everything they see on television. That's what it is. They still believe in CBS, ABC, NBC. They still believe in the alphabet. The only three, the alphabet. Maybe CNN every once in a while, but they're the ones that still have the coat hangers on top of their TV that they'll move the coat hanger around to try to get good reception. I don't know if that's still a thing. But anyway, here's one of those people that tries to use a coat hanger to get good reception on their TV because he's really old. That's Robert De Niro. And Robert De Niro is an actor. Some would say a famous actor, and he is. It's true. And here's a little bit of Robert De Niro talking about what he saw and what he witnessed.
You see it all the time. He will not want to leave. He set it up.
This is De Niro talking about Trump. He set it up. He's not leaving office. This is Robert De Niro given time on MSNBC the weekend to talk about this.
With his, I guess he's the Goebbels of the cabinet, Stephen Miller. He's a Nazi. Yes, he is, and he's Jewish.
He's a Nazi and he's Jewish. How about that from De Niro? Wait, there's more.
That's news.
Yeah, there it is. Hold on.
He should be ashamed of himself.
He should be ashamed to be both. How dare you be both? You can't be a Nazi and a Jew. How could you possibly do that? You should be ashamed.
We see it all the time. He will not want to leave.
Yeah, you would imagine that when somebody says he doesn't want to leave, and then Stephen Miller is Nazi and Jewish. Figure that one out. You would imagine that the people at MSNBC would be like, whoa, dude, seriously. We know you're old, and it's been a long time since you've done a really incredible a movie and a part in a movie. And maybe you have, but people really aren't paying attention to you like they used to. And maybe the old thing is really playing a part in this, but seriously, dude, you can't do this. You can't come on NBC and call Stephen Miller a Nazi, and he's also a Jew, and he should be ashamed of himself. And by the way, for those that don't realize it, that's exactly what they kept saying over and over again in 2020 and 2024. Mostly in 2024, they kept the whole Hitler thing and Nazi and that all going. And hey, D, last time I checked, numbers wise, how did that work out for Democrats when they kept going over and over and over again about the Hitler, Trump, Nazi, that kind of stuff? Did it work out well for them?
Yeah, not too well.
Not too well. That's right. The numbers didn't bear out. And if you're trying to figure out what exactly that looks like you're saying, can you give me, like if you're speaking to yourself, can you give me an idea of what it would sound like if there was somebody who actually was acting like a king, like a monarchy, like a authority, like oligarchy, authoritarianism, tyranny? What does that sound like?
I need you to get vaccinated when it's your turn and when you can find an opportunity. And to help your family, your friends, your neighbors get vaccinated as well. Because here's the point. If we do all this, if we do our part, if we do this together, by July the 4th, there's a good chance you, your families and friends will be able to get together in your backyard or in your neighborhood and have a cookout or a barbecue and celebrate Independence Day.
Oh, wait. So was that the president of the United States back in 2021 or 2020 or whatever it was, during COVID, when everybody was told to get the jab? And if you didn't get the jab, it might be trouble for you. As a matter of fact, you may not be able to enjoy 4th of July with your family. I don't know. Maybe we might lock you out from seeing relatives before they pass away and get the opportunity to see them before they die. Maybe you have to look through it. That kind of sounds like a little bit of tyranny to me. I don't know. Maybe I'm crazy. That's sort of what it is, right?
You shouldn't be banned from one platform and not others for providing misinformation out there.
There's no guarantee to free speech on misinformation or hate speech, and especially around our democracy.
There are Americans who are engaged in this kind of propaganda, and whether they should be civilly or even in some cases criminally charged.
Oh. Wait, that sounds like tyranny too. That almost sounds like the kind of thing that the No Kings rallies were going out. That's who was that? That's Tim Walz, who was thought that he was going to be this close. My fingers are thinly spread apart to the presidency or the vice presidency. We can even figure that one out. Hillary Clinton, who should be in prison right now. Still, I believe, perp walked. And others who were saying things like, yeah, maybe we should shut down your free speech. Maybe we have to decide what is mis and disinformation because what we hear and what we are seeing from you, we don't really like. So that sounds like the kind of thing that people should rally against. Yeah, but instead you get a lot of this man on the street, Philadelphia No Kings protest on Saturday. Let's see how this went.
What has President Trump done to make him a monarch?
He started to take control and do illegal things and that are not within his power. So that's pretty much what makes a person a monarch. They take complete control even though they shouldn't have it.
What illegal things has he done?
Come here.
Yeah, get the person next to you. Come here.
What illegal things? Everything that he has done except for get elected. Every single thing since he's gotten into office.
So deporting illegal immigrants, is that illegal?
Deporting illegal immigrants, if they're here peacefully, yes.
Oh, is that how that works? Oh, so if they're here illegally but they're peacefully here, then everything's fine. You can. Okay, so that is a monarchy and a. That's the struggle, right? It's what's the word I'm looking for? Civics. Civics is a funny thing. If you teach civics to the youths of America, you teach them while they're young, D?
Did you say youths?
I did. You got to get them when they're little baby, they're little kiddies, right? You teach them civics and you have them understand how the Constitution works and the rule of law and everything else. And then you start to realize what is legal and what is illegal. And then next thing you know it's like, hey, these two things are not the same. One of these things is not like the other thing. Isn't that a song? Didn't they do that?
Yeah.
Well, why don't we do that? We'll do that with civics. One of these things is not like the other things. Legal, illegal. They're not the same thing. See, I just did it. I just made up a song for the kids.
You got to patent that.
I'll tell you what, I got to patent it. I got to stop it too. But the point is that this was really what the weekend was all about. It was about people being out on the streets. Some of them, as a matter of fact, dressing up like giant unicorns and cows and different things because, they want to show that they're harmless. Here's two people. I wish you could see this. Oh, of all days. Wish you could see this. Here's two people in Charlotte, North Carolina, who were speaking to reporters. One dressed as a frog and one apparently dressed as a giant shrimp, or I don't know what that was. It's really hard to tell what the other person is dressed up as. It was a big pink. It looks like a giant shrimp. So here's the reporter who's trying to be very serious. Like, why are you here?
And people who are violent, and it really helps to match the absurdity of those statements.
Yeah. And so what they're doing is it's like, why are you dressed up as a big giant frog in this blow-up outfit? Oh, well, because you calling us violence absurd.
When we show up and show support in silly inflatable animal costumes.
No, you just look silly and ridiculous and look like you're an inflatable costume and nobody's going to take you seriously. But the reporter's like, absolutely.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
What does it mean for you to be here today, representing, what you're standing for?
Yeah, and dressed up as a big giant shrimp. Like I think it's, I don't know, whatever it is, but in a big inflatable.
There's so many things, mostly like freedom of speech, of like being able to gather and tell everybody like why we don't like about this administration.
Yeah, okay, so that's the thing. We're really gathering because we want to have free speech and tell everybody why we don't like this administration. Well, that's what you're doing. Nobody's stopping you. Nobody stopped you from doing it, number one. And number two, can we just make this the overarching I just said overarching. Yeah, I think I've been talking to too many people in New York this weekend.
Yeah, stay away from them.
Overarching. It's the overarching thing that's happened here. Why don't you just say it? You're not against tyranny or oligarchies. I don't know what that means. Or authoritarianism. I don't know what that means. Tyrannical governments. I'm not really sure. Fascism. I don't really know what that means. But I just don't like that we lost the election and Trump's president. Why don't you just say it? You just don't like Trump. You don't like the fact that Trump won and you lost. And the American people voted, by the way, popular vote in electoral college. Check your civics. So he won and you lost. And so really it's about getting out on the street and making it seem as if everybody else is on the same page as you, and they're not. It's not what's happening. So, but I do love the big giant frog and shrimp outfits and the blow up things because nobody worries about us. They also don't take you seriously. So there's that part of the deal as well. All right, 866-588-8303. Anytime you want to call, anytime you want to watch it, FL Voice News on YouTube, Rumble, X, and Facebook. Hit me. All right, let's hit some Florida stories. So we have Florida stories. I like this one. I don't remember. Do we know what's the girl's name, D? The one that every once in a while does these, is it Katie Malloy? Is that her name? Maybe something like that.
That doesn't ring a bell for me.
Okay, sorry. Maybe I made it up. I forget her name. Nina knows. Every time we play her voice, Nina's always like, "Hey, it's so-and-so." From but she's not in the room right now, so I can't hear her screaming. So the subject of alligator Alcatraz came up. I don't know how many of you in the state of Florida know alligator Alcatraz and what's happening there. The criminal illegals that are there, and it's just bringing them in, moving them out, bringing them in, moving them out. That whole thing, and how the left and judges, and certain circuit courts, lefty circuit courts and the like, all the same thing, all on the same page, want to stop it, and they couldn't do it. And so here you have a Trump deranged individual during one of the No Kings rallies who was trying to explain to Katie, I think that's her first name. I don't know. She does a really good job. And she's very upset about what happened with alligator Alcatraz.
They had ICE agents break into their home in the middle of the night, take them to the holding in Miami. We didn't know where they had gone. We didn't know it had happened. They went. They had no blankets. They had no money. They had to purchase those things.
Are we talking about criminals that were found, like people that were here in the country illegally, and criminals like bad people that we needed to get off the streets and take to Alligator Alcatraz? She was very upset about that.
And our pastor went down, gave them money.
And who is this couple again?
Okay, so I guess this is a couple who supposedly was taken by ICE and sent to Alligator Alcatraz. And then when she says, well, who's the couple? Can you tell us the name of who are these people?
I'm not going to say.
Well, if they spoke in front of Congress, their face is already out there. If you could give me some details about this, I would love to bring attention to that.
No, I'm not going to bring attention to them.
Yeah, we're not going to bring it. Okay. Well, it seems like if these two individuals were in front of Congress and they were talking about this and being taken and sent to Alligator Alcatraz, then it's already out there in the public. And she's just like, well, why don't you just tell us who it is? Well, we can't tell you that. It's the Nancy Pelosi. Hey, I don't know if you noticed, but there's this really racist Republican in Congress who keeps saying the most racist things in the hallway. It's really embarrassing. Oh, this is horrible. We hate race. We despise racism. Tell us who this Republican is, because if somebody's doing that, we want them held accountable for this. Well, we can't really tell you that name is. Hey, let's talk about something else. Like ice cream. Yeah, so there you go. That's a little bit of my... how's my Nancy Pelosi doing, by the way, these days, D? It might be my best impersonation.
It's pretty good.
It really is.
I think it's a little over-embellished.
Well, we're not friends, are we? We can't really talk right now.
It's still good.
Okay, thank you. So there's somebody who is talking about Alligator Alcatraz, and then a couple of questions, and it's like, oh, we're not going to talk about this. We're going to move on. Let's move on to a different Florida story. Can you do that? Yeah, let's do this one right now. Here's another Florida story. This was reported just a little while ago. It's at flvoicenews.com, Florida's Voice, the website. You can check this out. Don't know how I feel about this. I guess it's okay. Me and D were talking about this during the break. Which one is it? Is it D and I or me and D were talking about this?
D and I.
D and I were talking about this. Oh, because me were talking. That doesn't make any sense. Florida lawmakers are looking to bring the Ultimate Fighting Championships brand to state license plates, using the proceeds to fund charitable causes that benefit children, first responders, and local communities. That doesn't sound bad to me. We literally have how many, find out, Google, go to Al Gore's famous Google verse, find out how many vanity plates do we have in the state of Florida right now. I think we have 8 gajillion. I think everything is covered. Like you can get a vanity plate in the state of Florida for anything, like Yeti.
It says over 100.
That's right. Over 100. That's a lot of vanity plates. I mean, you can get them for like Yeti cups. You can get them for people who like Q-tips. Anything. I mean, it's like they got it all. All right. So this is Senate Bill 246, authorizes the creation of a new UFC lives here specialty license plate. And the proceeds from the annual fees would go to the UFC Foundation. It's a nonprofit, supports youth mentorship, children's hospitals, first responders, military families. That all sounds good. Department of Highway Safety and Motor Vehicles here in the state of Florida would design and issue the plate. 10% of the funds could be used to promote and market the specialty plate. And as we know, here's the problem. What now, D, if you thought to yourself, that's the second time I did that reference today. What would be the negative to having a UFC plate in the state of Florida, something that a lot of people like, that being UFC, follow it, support it, go crazy for it? If you had to think of the one problem with UFC and a plate in the state of Florida, you know what it is. Come on. What's his name?
You talk about Tito?
No, the problem. Trump. You were close. You have great people like Tito and others.
I guess
Tito
I didn't
Ortiz.
understand the question.
Yeah, that's my fault. So you have great people like Tito Ortiz and others involved with UFC, right? And have been. But the problem is Trump's affiliated with it or associated with it. Like he loves it. He's not affiliated with it. He's just, he loves the UFC, right? He loves Dana White and what they're doing there. And obviously for the 250th, right? Aren't they doing the big UFC? Isn't that what they're doing?
Yeah, right on the front lawn.
Right, on the front lawn. So that's the thing. And Senator Gruters was the one that put this out. Now, I think it's I think it's awesome because there are a lot of people who appreciate UFC. So that's good. It's like a sports team. Like, you love your sports team. All right, you love your sport. Two, it's great that the portion of the proceeds is going to go to some really, really good causes. And it's also great because it's trolling, clearly, because there are people that are going to freak out. I don't know why I did it like that, but they will. And that makes it more fun in a kind of weird sort of you got TDS kind of way. So we'll see what happens. Like I said, that was filed by Senator Joe Gruters. House version hasn't been filed yet. And if it happens, it would take effect October 1st of 2026. So we will see if this has any legs for the next legislative session, which begins, by the way, right here in January, not here on this program, but in the state, January 13th. All right. 866-588-8303 is the phone number. Anytime you want to watch it, FL Voice News on YouTube, Rumble, X, and Facebook. Just a reminder, if for some reason over the weekend you had really good things going on and then you had one really bad thing going on, like your air conditioner stopped working, or maybe you've been worried about it because it's 10 years old or older, well, I know who to call. You got a person. You got a guy. Strata Air Conditioning and Heating, they are the best. You know that they are committed to 5-star customer service, but one other thing you probably do not know is that they understand that homeowners, when they're going to make a major purchase like an air conditioning unit, they want to have a great selection, different manufacturers and models to find out what's best for them. Well, they sell and service every major manufacturer, Strata does, including Carrier, Goodman, Dakin, Trane, Mitsubishi, and Lennox. And if you want to check them out, go to strataac.com. That's strataac.com. Check out the website. And you can schedule an appointment right there, get a text confirmation, even track your text progress to your home. stradaac.com. You ought to call Strata. License number CACO 43953. All right, coming up in a couple of more minutes, the President of the United States today was sitting at the White House with, I guess it was the Australian Prime Minister? Right, the Australian Prime Minister. And let me tell you something. There were some funny moments. There were some crazy moments, taking questions from the press. Just great stuff. So we're going to get to that. Important questions that were asked and answered by the president with regard to even a lot of what's been happening globally, especially with Hamas. And he's not playing games with Hamas. I think he's had enough with some of the things that we are hearing about that Hamas is doing. And also, here's something that's kind of provocative coming up as well. Zero Hedge had the story, was the CIA misleading Steve Witkoff and Jared Kushner on key intel about Hamas during a critical phase of peace talks? Wait a minute. Are you serious right now? Like, was there an issue with the CIA not being helpful in negotiations? What is this all about? Well, we're going to find out together. Coming up. Top of the news on the way next. My name is Drew Steele. It's Florida's Voice.
You're listening to Florida's Voice with Drew Steele.
I'm Chris Jakimick. I served in the United States Air Force and I deployed 3 times. Being a veteran, it's interwoven into your DNA, is really the absence of the connection and the purpose that can really drive a lot of veterans to some negative thoughts. For those who are in a suicidal crisis, the window of time to save somebody's life is very short. Our duty is to protect ourselves and protect our families. And one way you can do that is store your weapons safely. Store all your guns securely. Help stop suicide.
Brought to you by End Family Fire and the Ad Council.
Hey, it's Drew Steele, and I have to tell you, when my wife and I talked about getting new kitchen countertops for our house, we know who to call. Rock Solid Countertops and More, 2240 J&C Boulevard in Naples, and they have been absolutely amazing. Hugo and the team are the best. The workmanship has been absolutely incredible. The install was so easy. The process was perfect. Taking everything out, bringing the new stuff in. The quartz countertop is unbelievably beautiful, and my wife is super happy, I'll tell you. You know they have the best quality and selection of marble, quartz, granite, and a one-stop shop for all of your kitchen, outdoor, and bathroom needs. I've known it for years. I've lived in Southwest Florida 40 years. There was really only one place I was going to go. It's rock-solid countertops and more. I would suggest you give them a call, 596-7676. They're at 2240 JNC Boulevard in Naples. Find out what they can do for you. Countertops, cabinets, plantation shutters, they do it all. Rock solid countertops and more.
Let's see, if something costs less, a lot less, but people are actually happier with it, that sounds like something to look into. And that's MetaShare. Maybe you've heard joining MetaShare can save you or your family up to $500 a month, and that's huge. But it's also true. People are just happier with it. They love being part of something that reflects and promotes their values and what they believe in. MetaShare works, too. It's been around for 30 years now, and members have shared more than $7 billion of each other's bills. People love having telehealth and a huge nationwide PPO network, so yeah, really, you can save a ton and like it better. Imagine being happy with how you're taking care of your health care, whether you're self-employed or part of the gig economy, or you just want a plan that you're happy with. Here you go. You can call right now and get a price within 2 minutes. A very, very smart use of 2 minutes. Here's the number you need. It's 855-SHARE-40. 855-SHARE 40. 855-SHARE-40. 855-SHARE-40.
Since the dawn of time, man and wildlife have shared a connection, and hunting traditions passed down from generation to generation have connected man to the natural world, from bow and arrow to hook and bullet. As man evolved, our link to those traditions remain with them forever. Yet today, our basic instinct to provide and as part of the hunt to conserve and appreciate the natural world has fallen under attack for the first time in human history. The misguided politicians and radical activists pushing an agenda to end hunting as we know it, or leading a war against our heritage and their misguided policies and protests. They demonize hunters and belittle our way of life, the results of hunters leaving the sport in droves, while our wildlife and ecosystems suffer the consequences as conservation funding dries up. Named after the father of the North American model for wildlife conservation, the International Order of T. Roosevelt is fighting in the arena to protect and expand the rights of hunters everywhere. We will fight back against these forces to make sure that every American has a right to hunt, enshrined in their state constitutions. We will educate the next generation in our traditions and seek to expand accessibility so that everyone can enjoy our pastimes. And we will continue to hold true to our namesake's efforts to protect, preserve, and ensure open access to our nation's wildlands. Teddy Roosevelt's vision for American conservation defines our modern hunting and conservation system, a system upheld by the idea that conservation efforts are crucial to our hunting way of life, and that hunters are crucial to successful conservation.
To some, the sound of a baby babbling doesn't mean much, but that's not true. They're testing out vowels and consonants and trying different sounds. And by 12 months, their babbling is beginning to take on meaning, especially if there's no babbling at all. Little to no babbling by 12 months or later is just one of the possible signs of autism in children. Learn more at autismspeaks.org.
Hey, it's Drew Steele. Look, are you still playing defense with your money? It's time to shift gears and seize the fresh opportunities this new pro-business environment has to offer. That's exactly what certified financial planner professional Alfie Townsend and the team at Advantage Retirement Group do for high net worth investors like you, helping you go on the offense with advanced tax strategies, thoughtful risk management, and forward-thinking financial planning. Imagine enjoying the retirement lifestyle you've worked so hard to achieve, all while staying one step ahead, and in a changing world, you've got to do it. Alfie and his team design personalized strategies to strengthen your financial foundation so you can focus on living life on your terms. Ready to find out more? Text VISIT to 239-747-7470. Again, you can call or text 239-747-7470. Schedule your one-on-one consultation today and see how a proactive approach can help you thrive no matter what the market does next. Don't wait. Call or text VISIT to 239-747-7470 right now.
Now, back to Florida's Voice with Drew Steele.
All right, anytime you want to watch it, FL Voice News on YouTube, Rumble X, and Facebook, and anytime you want to check out the program after hours, you can either go to my website, drewsteele.com. The website, Steele has 3 E's right there as you're driving around town, like maybe even now or later if you want to listen live, 3 to 6 p.m. each and every day. It's got a little play button, beep, and it doesn't make that noise. I just did it. And you can listen anytime you want, or you can go to the podcast, Florida's Voice with Drew Steele, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, wherever you get it. All right, let's find out what's going on in the Florida's Voice newsroom. We call this Top of the News.
Top of the News, Florida's headlines.
Now you may be asking yourself, what's going on there in the Florida's Voice newsroom? I have no idea. But I know Anita Padilla is in the Florida's Voice newsroom, and she knows exactly what's going on because she's joining us right now. What's up?
Hey there, Drew.
Hey.
Topping our news right now, Charlotte County Commissioner Stephen Deutsch is facing some tough questions, and this is after photos surfaced showing possible illegal raffles at campaign events. There were images posted to his campaign Facebook page, and it shows 50-50 raffles at 2 fundraisers. This could violate Florida election and gambling laws. A similar case in 2018 led to felony charges for another local candidate, you may recall. So far, though, no formal complaints have been filed, but the Florida Department of Law Enforcement could investigate if one is made. Deutsch has not responded to requests for comment. We did reach out to FDLE, also the Attorney General and State Attorney Amira Fox's office. We'll keep you posted if we learn more about that.
Cool.
Now, remember the case of Trooper, the dog that was found on the side of the road
Yes.
during Hurricane Milton?
Yes.
It's the one that ended up leading to a new state law. Well, charges have been dropped in that case.
What?
The Hillsborough County State's Attorney, Susie Lopez, says there just was not enough evidence to prove that Giovanni Garcia intentionally tied the dog to a fence. The trooper who rescued the dog said the collar was stuck, even though there was no rope or chain found there. Now, the dog, now named Trooper, has been adopted, so that's the good news. And there's also some good news, too, in all of this, and that is that lawmakers did end up passing Trooper's Law, making it a felony to abandon a restrained animal, especially during a disaster. Well, the Ultimate Fighting Championship could be coming to Florida's license plates. Senator Joe Gruters has filed a bill to create a UFC Lives Here specialty plate. Money from the plate would go to the UFC Foundation that supports first responders, youth programs, and military families. 10% could be used to promote the plate, too. If it's approved, the plate would be available beginning October 1st, 2026. There is no House version of the bill filed just yet. All right, that's it for now, but I'll come back in another hour to share more about a property tax plan that's being pitched by a Florida lawmaker. It's just one of several ideas that voters may get to consider next year. That's at 4:35. I'm Anita Padilla, the news director here for Florida's Voice. Drew, back over to you.
All right, AP in the Florida's Voice newsroom, we appreciate you. Anytime you want to check out the stories that they are working on, flvoicenews.com. Is the website. Oh, all right. So, hey, if you're one of these new kids, I almost said new kid. I meant to say no kings people, but instead I started saying new kids people. If you're like one of those new kids on the block, we got a problem with you. Sorry. If I say new kids, do you even know what I'm talking about? Because you're a millennial. You probably don't.
New Kids on the Block?
Yeah, New Kids on the Block.
Yes.
Can you name one New Kids on the Block song?
No.
I'm just telling you, just so you understand, New Kids on the Block was Taylor Swift huge before Taylor Swift was even born. Like big, gigantic. Actually, I don't know if Taylor Swift was born at that point. But the point is that New Kids were big. And the other point is, it's got nothing to do with the New Kids. It's about King's people. You're out there and you're screaming, we're against tyranny. You don't even know what it means. Fascist. What does fascist mean? Okay. And by the way, you're probably going, because most of the people that were out this weekend were old and white. Just watch any of the video on social media. It's like weird. These are all the people that believe the alphabet media, where the only ones that they go to, ABC, CBS, NBC, whatever they say is gold. No, it's actually not. It's not gold. It's not even fake gold. It's not even the kind of gold that makes your neck green. It's not gold at all. But anyway, point is that if you really want to know what tyranny looks like, if you're like, I really want to know, what does that sound like? Could you imagine if, I don't know, let me just throw this out there. Can you imagine if there was an administration, a presidential administration, like the one you claim is fascist, anarchist, tyranny filled looking? Can you imagine if there was one that would make a decision on who would be able to get money from FEMA, disaster money, after a hurricane or flooding, and made a choice as to whether or not somebody would get said money based on politics? Like, in other words, if you're a Trump supporter, we're not going to get you that money. Now, we know nothing like that happened because the media told us absolutely, positively not. There's no way that the Biden administration was keeping money from, let's say, Trump supporters, right?
Politicizing a natural disaster, what FEMA is warning about.
The only person making an accusation that people are not getting what they've asked for is Trump, falsely claiming that the administration is withholding resources because of political affiliation. That is just not true.
Remember that? Remember that whole thing about withholding information? And it was a big topic.
Hurricane Milton victims in Florida may have been denied help for being Trump supporters. A FEMA official has now been fired for telling relief workers to bypass homes with Trump Vance campaign signs.
Yeah, but that was from Fox. I mean, you can't trust Fox when it comes to being honest about what the Biden administration was doing, right? There's no way, there was no evidence. You don't have FEMA workers or anybody that was talking about this, or brand new evidence that's...
Breaking news.
A bombshell. Oh, wait, this just in. Hold on a second. Oh, look at that. It was just handed to me, sort of. Matt Taibbi's got an exclusive. FEMA workers improperly collected data about politics of disaster victims. Huh. Politicized distribution of hurricane aid money before the 24 election was no, quote, isolated incident, according to a Homeland Security follow-up report. So you're saying it was true? So let's refresh. The Biden administration was withholding money. FEMA, the workers of FEMA, were going to disaster relief areas, finding out who needed the money, seeing Trump paraphernalia, Trump signs, asking about their politics, finding out they were Trump supporters, and then denying them money, disaster money. The Homeland Security follow-up on this discovered it was true. It's an exclusive from Matt Taibbi, who looked into this. And yeah. So if you're trying to figure out who you should be protesting, if you were one of those No Kings protesters, first of all, you should protest the people that told you it'd be really cool if you dressed up in a big giant unicorn outfit. Like that's not a thing. I mean, it is a thing, and you shouldn't do it. Although there were some people that didn't, and you should get very upset with those people. Like this person who was, I believe I have don't I have the video? Oh, I thought I had the video of the woman who was dressed up as a unicorn, telling everybody why she was out there on the streets dressed up like a unicorn. That's the first thing. Oh, there she is. All right, I found you. I knew I would. Here it is.
I am the Unity Unicorn.
The Unity Unicorn.
I've got my head out of my costume because I can't breathe right now.
Yeah, couldn't breathe in the costume. Lack of oxygen is a really bad thing. It's a really, really bad thing if you're a lefty. It's bad for everybody, to be honest with you. Don't get too dizzy in that unicorn outfit.
We're here doing a peaceful protest.
Yeah.
Trying to get our democracy back.
Doing a peaceful protest, trying to get the country back. They want their democracy back. And we're doing it peacefully as I'm dressed up in a giant unicorn outfit, because nothing says, okay, I'll take whatever side you're on, like a big blow-up costume to try to make your point. All right, enough of that. 866-588-8303 is the phone number. What else we got going on here? All right, let's get back to this. The President of the United States was with the Australian Prime Minister today. And, Dee, did you have a chance to see or hear any of the audio from the visit?
I heard some short clips.
Okay. Did you see? Wow, there are some good ones. Do you remember which one you witnessed?
Someone said that, I think it said the prime minister or the president doesn't like Trump at all. And he's like, oh, I don't know who that guy is.
Oh, yeah. All right. I was going to save that one for later, but because you brought it up, I'm so happy you did. So imagine the president's being asked by reporters a bunch of different questions. You got Australian reporters. So they're big lefties too, right? And not exactly fans of the president's. And there's a moment where the president is being asked by an Australian reporter about this. Here, listen.
Have you had any concerns with this administration, with its stance on Palestine, climate change, or even things the ambassador said about you in the past?
Okay, so follow this. So I don't know if you could tell or hear what the person was saying because they have a really heavy Australian accent. It makes me want to go eat a steak and some onion rings. An Australian reporter said, have you had any concerns with this administration with its stance on Palestine, climate change, or even things the ambassadors said about you in the past? Wait a minute. What did the ambassadors say about me in the past? This is where it gets good. Check this out.
The Australian ambassador?
I don't know anything about him. I mean, if he said bad, then maybe he'll like to apologize. I really don't know. Did an ambassador say something bad about him? Don't tell me. I don't.
Okay, so you following this, D? So he's like, listen, don't tell me. I don't want to know if an ambassador said something bad about me. But this is where the clip gets really good. Because...
Where is he? Is he still working for you?
Yeah. Dude, he's sitting in front of the president. So the president's like, is he around? Do we know any, like, where is this guy? And all the reporters are like, he's sitting right in front of you. And then the ambassador puts his hand up like, yep, here I am, with this smirk like, yeah, I don't like you. Now, do you think the president, this president, I'm not talking about the other president who would say things like, and we're supposed to decipher that. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about a real president who has an answer to everything, especially when there's somebody in front of him who doesn't like him, who has said some negative things about him. You know there's a comeback, right, D? So here's the comeback with the dude sitting in front of him.
You said bad?
And he points him. He puts his hand out like, that's you. And he points at him and goes, you said bad?
Before I took this position, Mr. President...
I don't like you either. I don't, and I probably never will. Go ahead.
That's it? Okay. Off to the next question. So that was it, D. So he's like...
Yeah, that was the one.
Even before he gets going, he's like, yeah, I don't like you either. And I probably never will. All right, who's got another question? Who wants a steak? Did you get the reference? Aussie steak?
Outback Steakhouse.
Okay.
Ding.
All right, thanks. I just wanted to make sure that you knew that. Is that what it, right? Isn't that onion rings, or what do they call that thing at the Australian steakhouse place? It's not called onion rings. What do they call it?
Bloomin' onion.
Oh, is that why they call it bloomin'? Isn't that?
Because it looks like a flower almost.
Okay, I thought bloomin' was like a cuss word in Australia, kind of like when they say that word in the UK that I don't know if I should say because we have people who listen to us in the UK, and then we might get in trouble for me cussing. When they say, like if I was looking at the steak and I was like, man, this steak is bloody. Like that. Like you're not supposed to say, I mean, like you could say the steak is bloody, but you can't use it as a adjective or verb. Adjective. Yeah, you can't use it as an adjective. How's that? Wow, I'm glad we cleared that up. That was a strange place to go. There's more Trump audio and very serious audio as well when he talked about Hamas that we're going to play coming up next hour, and including that story from Zero Hedge, which I'm kind of concerned about. If the CIA was misleading Steve Witkoff and Jared Kushner as they were trying to make this deal for peace, that's a problem. And it's quite the story that we'll have coming up in just a bit. Plus, Democrats being Democrats, there's a lot that they've been talking about, including the Schumer shutdown we're going to get to. Bernie Sanders was on The View. You know, that's got to be funny. It was, in a lot of different ways. So we'll get to all of that coming up. All right. Anytime you want to watch at FL Voice News on YouTube, Rumble, X, and Facebook. My name is Drew Steele. This is Florida's Voice.
You're listening to Florida's Voice with Drew Steele.
Babes, what are you doing?
What? I'm just mowing the lawn.
No, it's blazing hot and dry out here. Don't you remember? Smokey Bear says.
Avoid using power equipment when it's windy or dry.
Where'd you learn this?
Oh, it's on
SmokeyBear.com with many other wildfire prevention tips.
Right. Thanks, honey bear.
Because remember, only you can prevent wildfires.
Brought to you by the USDA Forest Service, your state forester, and the Ad Council.
All right, son. Time to put out this campfire.
Dad, we learned about this in school.
Oh, did you now? Okay. What's first?
Smokey Bear said to.
First drown it with a bucket of water, then stir it with a shovel.
Wow, you sound just like him.
Then he said.
If it's still warm, then do it again.
Where can I learn all this?
It's all on SmokeyBear.com with other wildfire prevention tips, because only you can prevent wildfires.
Brought to you by the USDA Forest Service, your state forester, and the Ad Council.
You know, a lot of times you have to choose between something high quality or something that saves you money. But if you could get both, why not? Especially when it comes to health care, and that is MediShare. You get both. Many families save $500 a month with MediShare, and that's huge. But it's also true that people wind up way more satisfied, too. The member satisfaction rate for MediShare is double that of the typical health insurance plan. Double. That's because MediShare works. It has for more than 30 years. It's a community of Christians who have shared more than $5 billion of each other's bills. People love having telehealth. They love the huge PPO network. So, yeah, really, you can save a ton and like it better. Imagine being happy with how you're taking care of your health care. So if you're self-employed or part of the gig economy, or you just want a plan you're happy with, you can call right now and get a price in 2 minutes. Here's the number. Just call 855-SHARE-40. That's 855-SHARE-40. 855-SHARE-40.
Hey, it's Drew Steele. Look, if you're looking to take advantage of today's pro-business environment and strengthen your financial future, certified financial planner professional Alfie Townsend and his team at Advantage Retirement Group have got you covered. They specialize in advanced tax strategies, risk management, and retirement planning, all aimed at helping high net worth investors like you thrive. Now, Alfie wants to share those insights with you with his book, Keeping You on the Retirement Fairway. It's packed with practical tips and forward-thinking strategies to help you make the most out of your hard-earned wealth. Ready to get your free copy? Text BOOK to 239-747-7470. That's 239-747-7470. Don't wait. Learn how to capitalize on that pro-business opportunities that are out there right now and secure the confident retirement you deserve. Once again, text BOOK to 239-747-7470 right now, and let Alfie Townsend and Advantage Retirement Group help guide you toward a stronger, more confident financial future.
We're with Bridget, whose husband won't be home for months, and whose daughter is due any day. We're with Mike, who's leaving home to protect his family and yours. We're with all service members and their families who need community, connection, and maybe a bit of magic. Are you with them? Learn more at uso.org today. We're with Liam after his 4th military move, when being new is starting to get old. We're with Tara during the holidays, when she misses home the most. We're with all service members and their families who need connection, comfort, and a home away from home. Are you with them? Learn more at uso.org today.
Now, back to Florida's Voice with Drew Steele.
First thing I would do is take a garden hose and flush their tongue, and then make plans to get to an emergency clinic right away. The key thing is you want to keep their body temperature from spiking, because that can lead to seizure and death. And so, quick rinse of the tongue, work that tongue, get that slime off.
Okay. Now, D, I know what you're thinking. You're listening to that clip and you're like, what's going on here? What is this all about? His name is Gray Stafford. He's a zoologist. And he wanted to let people know in Arizona that there are rare toads that have been coming out. And the animals, as we know, like in Southwest Florida and certain areas around the state, we've got something called bufo frogs, and you don't want dog licking the bufo frogs because they could get very, very sick and die. So that is a zoologist whose German Shepherd survived licking one of the toads, saying what to do if the toad is ingested in any way. You get the tongue, you rinse the tongue out with the garden hose and do all of that. Now, on the surface, D, that sounds, okay, get it. We understand. In the state of Florida, right, okay. But there's something else to the story. Here's the problem. The rain's bringing out these toxic toads that are toxic to animals, but officials have now had to go on to social media and other media outlets to tell people to stop licking them because they're trying to get high. They're trying to get high off the frogs.
This is why we can't have nice things.
This is why you can't have nice things. You can't have a state. And you ever notice something else about licking toads and things like that? Why is it that it's always the West states? Why is it Western states that do this all the time? You don't hear about this in North Carolina, people licking toads. Why is it always like Utah and Arizona and Nevada and California? Why is it everything out West is like that? Why are people always into licking toads and eating mushrooms and doing all these? Like, they're always trying to do, like, what is it about being out West? Is it because...
I don't know, but I don't want to find out.
Is it the oxygen? The fact that you're up so high in the air that you don't have enough oxygen there? Is that what living 4,000 feet up? Which, by the way, I lived in Salt Lake City. 4,000 feet is how high I lived. And it was like, get me off of this mountain. There were times when you're just like, yeah, this is too high for me. True story. Like there was a time when we needed to get out of Salt Lake City. And so I was like, all right, let's go to Vegas. So we drove 6 hours south to go to Las Vegas. Problem is Las Vegas is still, how high up is, look that up, D. How high, what's the altitude of Las Vegas? Because it's not like Vegas is like sea level. I think
2,000 feet.
Yeah, so I went from 4,000 feet to 2,000 feet. It's like, I got to get down a little lower. But anyway, I don't know what it is. So there you go. So for the people in Arizona, can you get a hobby? I mean, I don't know how the football team's doing right now, Arizona Cardinals. I'm not sure. You had some, I mean, there's probably a sports team out there. I don't know. Just get a hobby. Get a puppy. And keep them away from the toads. And you too. All right, what else do we have going on? Moving on. Do I have enough time to play this clip? Yeah, I could play this for a half a second, I think. This was a little bit of Bernie Sanders who went on to The View today. Because obviously I guess he's talking about a book that he wrote. Also talking about the No Kings protests. And I thought this was pretty interesting when asked about the shutdown, for example, in Congress.
It'd be powerful, though, is if Congress didn't take their money while they were waiting. Because right now, it's hard to imagine it's incentivized. It's easier for the politicians in D.C. to go away from each other and say, we will win this way, while people are losing their paychecks. If Congress just said, we're not going to take our paychecks till we figure this out, that would be a noble step in the right direction, I would say.
That's not everybody can afford to do. You got some young people there with kids there.
Either can the people that aren't getting paid, though,
I think
and
that's
there's
a fair
holdout.
point. I think that's a fair point.
There you go. Congress weren't taking paychecks until we figure it out. That'd be a step in the right direction. Well, no, not everybody can do that. But how about the people who aren't getting paid? Well, that's a fair point. We got to go to break. All right.
You're listening to Florida's Voice with Drew Steele.
It's 4 a.m., Monday, and you're literally sucking baby snot through a tube because she's congested. Man, that's love. And if you love her that much, love her enough to make sure she's buckled in the right car seat. To make sure your child's in the right seat for their age and size, visit nhtsa.gov/the right seat. Show them you love them. Keep them safe. Visit nhtsa.gov/the right seat. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council. You let him try violin because you love him. And if you love him that much, love him enough to make sure he's buckled up and in the back seat. Find out more at nhtsa.gov/the right seat. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
I don't think that many kids in my son's school even do it.
No way.
No way. No way. No way. My kid would never vape.
Get your head out of the cloud. Talk to your kid about vaping. Visit talkaboutvaping.org.
You're listening to Florida's Voice with Drew Steele. Florida's Voice with Drew Steele.
Congratulations on your show. Congratulations on your new show. Big deal, huh?
That's why shows like yours are so important. We have an independent county elected sheriff that's the head of law enforcement in Jacksonville/Duval County. And I know how to work toward making this city safe.
We can't be shy about speaking on things such as faith and politics. We have to remember, in a free society, the public square belongs to all of us.
I'm not interested in North Florida looking like Orlando or Miami. I love where we live, but I think that good jobs means that people that live in this district can stay in this district.
Fishing and hunting is funding a large part of your conservation projects in Florida, and we want to make sure that those are forever preserved.
And the problem with this industry at this point is that they actually target our youth. You can see it in their marketing strategies, where it's bright colors, fun names.
And that's going to be endlessly litigated.
Florida's Voice with Drew Steele.
Hey, it's Drew Steele. Look, are you still playing defense with your money? Now might be the perfect time to go on offense and seize the opportunities presented by the new pro-business environment ushered in by President Trump and his administration. That's exactly what certified financial planner professional Alfie Townsend and his team at Advantage Retirement Group do for high net worth investors like you. They create strategies designed to help manage taxes, control risks, and boost your financial confidence. It's a forward-thinking approach that can strengthen your foundation so you can enjoy the lifestyle you've worked so hard to achieve. If you're ready to see how Alfie's team can help elevate your plan, call or text VISIT to 239-747-7470. Again, text VISIT to 239-747-7470. Schedule your one-on-one consultation today and discover proactive strategies to help you thrive in an ever-changing world. Again, text VISIT to 239-747-7470. Don't wait. Let Alfie Townsend and the Advantage Retirement Group team guide you toward a stronger, more confident financial future.
I've been dipping snuff for well over 30 years. You know, I could wake up in the morning and have a weird lump in my gums. Guess it's like playing Russian roulette, really. I would love grandchildren. And if by quitting it extends my life some, I would gladly lay it down.
Visit tobaccofreeflorida.com to find free resources to help you quit your way.
Today, push harder, push forward, push vigorously.
There are things that I am hiding from people that I'm trying to inspire.
You can do whatever you set your mind to.
I feel like a hypocrite a lot of the times.
Don't give up on yourself ever.
Smoking, I hide it because I'm ashamed of it. I want to get out of the shadow. I want to show people there is light away from the darkness. I am going to quit.
Visit tobaccofreeflorida.com to find free resources to help you quit your way.
We're with Bridget, whose husband won't be home for months and whose daughter is due any day. We're with Mike, who's leaving home to protect his family and yours. We're with all service members and their families who need community, connection, and maybe a bit of magic. Are you with them? Learn more at uso.org today. We're with Liam after his 4th military move, when being new is starting to get old. We're with Tara during the holidays, when she misses home the most. We're with all service members and their families who need connection, comfort, and a home away from home. Are you with them? Learn more at uso.org today.
Hey, it's Drew Steele, and you know I love the Floor Meisters in Naples. Locally family-owned business, 3 generations of Meisters. Listen, what are you looking for? Carpet, tile, hardwood, a Quartec? Maybe that's what you're looking for. And why don't we talk to TJ Meister right now of the Floor Meisters and find out what's going on with Cortec. What's up, TJ?
Well, we're just keeping up with the demand for Cortec. Just had to order a truck and bring it in from the west coast of the United States to keep up with all the needs and wants of the people of Southwest Florida. Somebody doesn't have it, give me a call. I probably do.
I tell you, I love my Cortec floor. People love it. What is it about it that makes it so awesome?
Well, it's waterproof, kid-proof, pet-proof. So if you got a pool, no problem. If you got a dog, no problem. If you got a husband that spills, no problem.
Floor Meisters, that's who I trust, and you should as well. 6281 Naples Boulevard in Naples. 239-596-4964 for the Floor Meisters.
Let's see, if something costs less, a lot less, but people are actually happier with it, that sounds like something to look into, and that's MetaShare. Maybe you've heard joining MetaShare can save you or your family up to $500 a month, and that's huge, but it's also true. People are just happier with it. They love being part of something that reflects and promotes their values and what they believe in. MetaShare works, too. It's been around for 30 years now, and members have shared more than $7 billion of each other's bills. People love having telehealth and a huge nationwide PPO network, so yeah, really, you can save a ton and like it better. Imagine being happy with how you're taking care of your health care, whether you're self-employed or part of the gig economy, or you just want a plan that you're happy with. Here you go. You can call right now and get a price within 2 minutes. A very, very smart use of 2 minutes. Here's the number you need. It's 855-SHARE-40. 855-SHARE 40. 855-SHARE-40.
Thank you for waking us all up out here, for all you do. And
thank you for giving us the voice.
For being out there helping to keep the constitutional republic. I want to thank you for your support for veterans in the military. Educating us. Standing up for conservatism. Giving us the truth.
Florida's Voice with Drew Steele.
Well, hey, everybody. So glad you're joining us today on Florida's Voice. My name is Drew Steele. Big D over there on the other side of the glass. You got Nina in the breaking newsroom and you hanging out with us at FL Voice News on YouTube, Rumble, X, and Facebook. Anytime you want to check out the show after hours, Florida's Voice with Drew Steele, the podcast, Apple Podcast, Spotify, wherever you get it. How was your No Kings weekend? Was it a lot of fun? Did you see any Kings? Because we don't have a... Hey, D, do we have any Kings around here? I forget. I mean, there's Burger King.
Yeah.
I think there's Burger King. There's Smoothie King. What other Kings are there? I'm trying to think of the other ones. But other than those Kings, I'm not really sure if there's any others. Have you seen any other Kings? Which
don't believe so.
How about in government? Why don't we go there? Let's pivot to that. Government. Are there any kings in government? How does that...
In our country?
Yeah.
No.
Okay. Really awkward and weird that there were people that were having king rallies in like the UK. A little awkward. Hey, there's still like the monarch. But they don't take the monarchy seriously there. Okay, gotcha. Nice. And just a reminder of some of what went down over the weekend. You had Nancy Pelosi, who I guess was trying to prove that there are no kings, and she had like this metal crown in her hand.
I'm going to tear up the crown.
This is so awesome. So I guess she was standing in front of a crowd. She had a metal crown, and she's like, I'm going to tear this apart. And then there was a jump cut. So you can't tell, D, how long it took for Nancy Pelosi with her 95-year-old hands. I don't know if that's how old she is, but and I don't know that her hands are. But anyway, the point is that she tried to rip it apart, and they did this jump cut to kind of show that it might have taken a little longer than. You should have used the Burger King paper ones. You see, that's the problem. They used the wrong. So they did. There was a jump cut while she's tearing apart a metal crown. Somebody wasn't thinking very wisely about that. By the way, there was somebody on No Kings Day that was holding a Say No to Kings, and it had a burger bun, and in the middle it said Say No to Kings. So if someone, a very astute person was out there on the streets who was like, I got to find out what it is about this. Like, what are they thinking? Like, why are you here? What are you protesting?
No Kings Day.
And why specifically are you out supporting No Kings Day?
I think protest is important.
Why are you protesting?
How much time do you have?
A couple minutes.
Yeah.
And what's the main reason you're out here protesting President Trump?
I agree with a lot of the decisions that are being made.
Is there any decision in particular you disagree with?
Okay, so I would start with...
Here we go. Come on.
Well,
Yeah, that's all you need to know. That's it. We put a bow on that, and that's all we need to talk to the No Kings issue about. I don't think there's any further you can go, unless there were some people that were talking to, let's just say, the Speaker of the House, Mike Johnson. They did on ABC this week, and they were asking the Speaker about the people protesting Trump in a nationwide No Kings rally. Oh, I get it. So the Kings and Trump. Okay, got it.
I'm joined now by the Speaker of the House, Mike Johnson.
Wow. Jonathan Karl, was he like sucking on some helium balloons before he started this segment? Is that just me? Or
I'm joined now by the Speaker of the House, Mike Johnson.
Is he okay? Just asking.
Right here in the studio, Speaker Johnson, thank you for joining us.
Glad to be with you. Thanks.
So let's start with the No Kings rallies. You called these Hate America rallies.
They pretty much are. I mean, think about all the things that they're protesting. Although it's really hard because when you ask the protesters, they don't even know why they're there.
What do you mean by that?
Well, that collection of folks that I listed were certainly part of it. We congratulate them on a apparently violent free speech exercise. I was a First Amendment lawyer for 20 years. We defend that right. But the irony of the message is pretty clear for everyone. If President Trump was a king, the government would be open right now. If President Trump was a king, they would not have been able to engage in that free speech exercise out on the mall, by the way, which was open because President Trump hasn't closed it. In the last shutdown, 2013 era, President Obama closed the National Mall, it closed all the national parks, didn't allow people to engage in all this. So, I mean, they needed a stunt, they needed a show. Chuck Schumer needs cover right now. He's closed the government down because he needs political cover, and this was a part of it.
I think you get trumpet fanfare for that one, right, D? I mean, that's pretty good stuff.
I'd say that's worthy.
Yeah, that is worthy. By the way, grassroots Democrats frustrated with the Trump administration have been demanding a fight, and on Saturday, millions showed up at the No Kings demonstrations across the country to protest the president's government. In that context, Democrats know they're going to get hit hard by a number of voices on the left if they don't get something opened soon. People are going to get hammered if the vote for the House-passed bill to reopen the government and keep it funded through November 21st, said one Democratic senator who requested anonymity, because if anybody finds out who I am, they're going to primary me because I shouldn't say stuff like this. In other words, the Democrats now waited for the No Kings rallies. They wanted to get and see how many people would show up and see how fierce it was. It was old and white, that's for sure. And there are a lot of people that weren't really sure why they were there, but they were upset. Because TDS runs deep in these folks. A second person familiar with the political dynamics with the Senate Democrat caucus who spoke with The Hill ahead of the No Kings protest said centrist senators are fearful of breaking with leaders while party activists are planning the anti-Trump rallies. So they got this done, and now on the other side of it, they're like, all right, so now can we open it up? Or how does this work? Look. We know what it is. It was all about this latest stunt like the Speaker of the House was talking about. And this was the angle that they were going to take to show everybody how much they hate Trump. Although there was an election recently in popular vote and electoral college, he won both. So it's a funny thing. Kings don't typically do that. And also, the other part, like you're allowed to go out there and speak freely. And thank you for doing it peacefully. Although the blow up costumes were a little over the top. But yeah, so there's that. All right. 866-588-8303. What else do we have going on? Let's hit on this. Just happened a little while ago. You have the U.S. Attorney, Jeanine Pirro, who was announcing brand new charges against the criminals, if you remember, who brutally assaulted Edward Korstein, the Doge employee known as Big. And I don't want to say the other part because I don't think you should say that on the radio. But it's like if you had a basket. What's the other part of that? Basket.
What?
A basket. Like if I was playing with one of these things that bounce, it's a basket.
Basketball.
That's it. Okay. And he was called Big Basket.
Basketball.
Yeah. Okay. Well, he was called something. Okay. Yeah, whatever. So a liberal judge decided that, in her opinion, that we couldn't put these teens behind bars, these people that assaulted Edward Korstein, because they need rehabilitation. They don't need a jail cell. Well, one of them was a known criminal released multiple times by leftist judges. So Jeanine Pirro's like, yeah, you know, I'm the U.S. attorney for D.C., and we're not doing this.
Today, we are announcing that Lawrence Cotton Powell, who is 19 years of age, along with Anthony Taylor, who is 18 years of age, are now charged with assaulting Levine. Cotton Powell was stomping on Levine's head, as you can see in this poster to my left. Levine was able to get up momentarily, but the crowd chased him and got him down again. They continued to attack Levine while he was on the ground, and then proceeded to rob him of his sneakers and his watch. The group then, after the robbery and assault of Ethan Levine, they walked in the direction of where another crime occurred within minutes. You have heard of this crime. Edward Korestein, a 19-year-old Doge person who was working in the administration, was walking a young woman to her car when he was approached in the 1400 block of Swan Street Northwest. Approximately 10 suspects approached him, and as they did, he pushed the young woman into the car. And he was protecting her from the group before he was then attacked by multiple suspects, who then punched him repeatedly, causing significant injuries to him. They got him on the ground, and as they were doing so, they demanded the car from the woman who was inside the car and had already locked the car.
I don't know, D. You know, I got to tell you, I'm not a police officer. I'm not a prosecutor. I'm not a defense attorney. I'm not any of these things. Just a talk show host who's hearing of all the crimes that somebody was committing on someone else. It seems to me like if you wanted to charge these individuals with assault, that sure sounds like assault to me. I don't know.
Pretty straightforward.
Yeah, I don't know if you can get any more straightforward than that. So there you go. Just a little while ago, the U.S. Attorney for Washington, D.C. is Jeanine Pirro announcing that there's going to be brand new charges against these criminals who brutally beat these Doge employees. And that is good to hear. All right, some other things that we are keeping an eye on here on Florida's Voice. Let's hit some Florida news, shall we? Surely. All right, let's see what we have going on here. There's a couple of things that have popped today. I want to see if I can get to this one. There it is. So the Attorney General of the great state of Florida is James Uthmeyer, and he announced that his office is launching a criminal investigation into the popular online gaming platform Roblox. Is that what it's called, D? I'm sorry, I'm not into online gaming.
That's it.
Roblox. What is Roblox? What is it? Do you know what it's like?
Some sort of, I don't want to butcher it. I have no idea.
But
I
is
think
it
it's some sort of interworld where you build your own cities and things?
So it's you get online with a bunch of different people across the globe, and you're building a city kind of thing.
I'm going to look it up because I'm not 100%.
I'm not either, so I don't want to. But we know it's a popular online gaming platform, and they accuse the company of knowingly allowing its platform to be used as a, quote, breeding ground for child predators. Whoa. The announcement escalates the state's scrutiny of the gaming giant, which began with a civil subpoena issued by the Attorney General's office in April. Do we have this video? I got to see if I have the video. All right, so there it is. Let me get this video of James Uthmeyer, who was on Fox, who was talking about this over the weekend. So let's see what he had to say.
Sure. Well, our initial inquiry, as well as arrests and convictions across the state, have shown that Roblox is a breeding ground for child predators to get on the platform, solicit information, locations, and ultimately abuse kids. That's a non-starter here in Florida. We will go after child predators with everything we've got. And we're going to hold Roblox accountable. We believe that they have knowingly allowed their platform to be used in this way. Here in Florida, we've arrested over 1,000 child predators just this year. And many of these investigations lead right back to Roblox.
Well, you issued a subpoena to Roblox in April. What did you find?
Well, that was a civil inquiry. We immediately started gathering information, and what we found is evidence that they've been operating in a careless way. They know child predators are using the app to go after our kids, and they haven't done enough about it. They don't have enough protocols in place for age verification. They're not doing enough to monitor the content that's being shared over the application, sexual content with 8- and 9-year-olds. And ultimately, they haven't done enough to work with the state to ensure proper online protocols, so we're going to hold them accountable.
Look at that. So I guess the accusations here from the Attorney General, James Uthmeier, grooming by predators, inadequate age verification, insufficient content moderation, predatory and deceptive monetization, failure to warn or protect, failure to report incidents. All of these things were being reported by the Attorney General's office. And so that was the Attorney General on Fox over the weekend, who was describing what they have found, and I guess the steps that will be taken knowingly, they're saying, accusing them to allowing the platform to be used in this way. And that's what happens. The predators go onto these platforms. They pretend that they are kids themselves, and they engage in these long-term dialogues to solicit information, locations, imagery. Ultimately, they schedule meetups. So, good for the Attorney General. And Roblox has responded to prior lawsuits and inquiries by saying it can't comment on litigation, but maintains that it is the safest place on the internet. Well, both can't be true. So the important issue here is that once again, and I'm sure many people know this, you've got to keep an eye on what's going on with your kids on the internet, on social media. When they're going onto these online gaming platforms, you can't make assumptions that they're doing their job to keep things safe. You can't make those assumptions. You've got to assume that there are people that are using the platform this way. You've got to assume that there are people like the Attorney General that are looking into this as well, which is a good thing. But know that this is something that you've got to be aware of, and it's happening. So good for the Attorney General for keeping an eye on this. All right. 866-588-8303 is the phone number. What else do we have going on here? All right, a couple of other things that are happening, including the President of the United States. And I brought this up earlier, and I wanted to make sure I bring this up once again. So here is the President, who was talking today about the issues with Hamas. He was with the Australian Prime Minister, and there's been some concern about this peace deal and Hamas keeping their end of the bargain. Some of the violence that we're hearing about, it doesn't appear as if they're doing the right thing with regards to this, and the president knows it.
For the first time ever, we made a deal with Hamas that, they're going to be very good, they're going to behave, they're going to be nice, and if they're not, we're going to go and we're going to eradicate them if we have to. They'll be eradicated, and they know that. So they went in, and I don't believe it was the leadership, but they had some rebellion in there among themselves, and they killed some people, a lot of people. But this is a violent group. You probably noticed over the last 100 years, this is a very violent group of people. And they got very rambunctious, and they did things that they shouldn't be doing. And if they keep doing it, then we're going to go in and straighten it out, and it'll happen very quickly and pretty violently, unfortunately.
President's not messing around when talking about Hamas and sending out once again that warning about behaving when it comes to this peace deal. And it doesn't seem as if that's what they're doing. One other thing I wanted to mention with regard to this peace deal, and I talked about it earlier, Zero Hedge had this story. And I want to read a little bit to you because this is concerning. Was the CIA misleading Witkoff and Kushner on key intel about Hamas during critical phases of the peace talks? Wait a minute. What are we talking about here? An hour-long interview with Steve Witkoff and Jared Kushner as they outlined the backstory to the Israel-Hamas peace agreement in Gaza. This is from Zero Hedge. During a segment, Witkoff and Kushner are outlining the step-by-step process that they engaged in with leaders of Qatar and Turkey and Egypt. Now, Witkoff said the CIA was briefing them both multiple times a day. But I want you to listen to the exchange about exactly what was happening with the CIA during this process. Listen to this.
Led to this.
So the Israelis are on board, at least for part one of the plan. Now you go to Sharm el-Sheikh, and the whole point is to get Hamas on board. So tell us about this meeting, to set the stage.
Okay, so setting the stage for the meeting with Hamas, and here's Jared Kushner.
Well, before you go to Sharm el-Sheikh, after Bibi was at the White House with President Trump, and they announced his agreement to President Trump's 20-point plan, then there was a couple days of waiting to see what would Hamas do. And that Friday in the afternoon, we were getting word from the mediators that they were going to come out positive, but with a couple of conditions and different things that they wanted to see modified in any final agreement.
All right, so you're following this? So they're saying, hey, you know, Hamas is it's a positive. Qatar, Egypt, Turkey, they're saying, yeah, we're speaking with Hamas, and seems like this is a good thing. It's a positive thing. We're going to get positive results. Like, they're going to say yes to this. Here comes Steve Witkoff.
But the vibe we were getting was quite positive.
Yeah.
Well, first, one thing I'm going to point out is that we were getting, because of our relationships, and this goes back to that conflict of interest question you had for us, but our relationships were direct with the leaders of these three countries, and we were hearing that Hamas was positive on the deal.
Right.
And yet I was reading intelligence reports every day and getting briefings from the CIA 3 times a day, and those intelligence briefings were suggesting that Hamas was going to say no.
What? Wait a second. So you have Steve Witkoff, Jared Kushner, who are helping to negotiate this Israel-Hamas peace deal, right, in Gaza, the Gaza peace deal. They're going to Qatar and Turkey and Egypt and the people that they're dealing with, their leadership, Emir of Qatar, presidents of Turkey and Egypt, and they're like, yeah, Hamas is, we're feeling positive. This is good. Like, they're going to say yes to this. But they're getting CIA intelligence that was the exact opposite of what they were being told. So, like, this is, as Zero Hedge was describing, exactly, it's a small example, and the small example that they're talking about is stunning in magnitude when considered around the importance of the moment. I mean, here you have Witkoff and Kushner like, all right, we're on a positive note here. This is good. You got the CIA saying, no, it's not going to work out. They're saying no, saying the complete opposite. The intelligence community. And this is, put this the right way. Do you see why there is still, we got to figure out how to clean this up, why there's this distrust with the intelligence community? This White House and the intelligence community, it's like, why would you give us different information than the Emir of Qatar and the presidents of Turkey and Egypt? Why would you have the complete opposite? And it turns out that they were right and you were wrong. Where are you getting your information from? How do we trust you? So why were they getting it misleading, getting it wrong? It doesn't make any sense unless they were trying to, well, that's the thought process is you should be helping the president in this process. You shouldn't be trying to upend it or disrupt it. But how did you get it wrong? So it's one of two things. It's either, wow, we got to work on our intelligence because you got this all wrong. So where are you getting your information from? Maybe some people need to go. Or, hey, you're giving us mis and disinformation, if you will. And that's disrupting the process, in which case people need to go. See what I'm saying? Yeah, that's not good. All right. You know it's not good. If your air conditioning's not working, you know who to get in touch with. 5-star customer service, Strata Air Conditioning and Heating, StrataAC.com. That's STRADAAC.com. If you got problems with your air conditioner, you ought to call Strata. License number CACO 43953. Top of the news is up next here on Florida's Voice.
You're listening to Florida's Voice with Drew Steele.
I'm
I'm Chris Jakimick. I served in the United States Air Force and I deployed 3 times. Being a veteran, it's interwoven into your DNA. It is really the absence of the connection and the purpose that can really drive a lot of veterans to some negative thoughts. For those who are in a suicidal crisis, the window of time to save somebody's life is very short. Our duty is to protect ourselves and protect our families. And one way you can do that is store your weapons safely. Store all your guns securely. Help stop suicide.
Brought to you by End Family Fire and the Ad Council.
Hey, it's Drew Steele, and I have to tell you, when my wife and I talked about getting new kitchen countertops for our house, we know who to call. Rock Solid Countertops and More, 2240 JNC Boulevard in Naples. And they have been absolutely amazing. Hugo and the team are the best. The workmanship has been absolutely incredible. The install was so easy. The process was perfect. Taking everything out, bringing the new stuff in. The quartz countertop is unbelievably beautiful, and my wife is super happy, I'll tell you. You know they have the best quality and selection of marble, quartz, granite, and a one-stop shop for all of your kitchen, outdoor, and bathroom needs. I've known it for years. I've lived in Southwest Florida 40 years. There was really only one place I was going to go. It's Rock Solid Countertops and More. I would suggest you give them a call, 596-7676. They're at 2240 JNC Boulevard in Naples. Find out what they can do for you. Countertops, cabinets, plantation shutters, they do it all. Rock Solid Countertops and More.
Let's see, if something costs less, a lot less, but people are actually happier with it, that sounds like something to look into. And that's MetaShare. Maybe you've heard joining MetaShare can save you or your family up to $500 a month, and that's huge. But it's also true, people are just happier with it. They love being part of something that reflects and promotes their values and what they believe in. MetaShare works, too. It's been around for 30 years now, and members have shared more than $7 billion of each other's bills. People love having telehealth and a huge nationwide PPO network, so yeah, really, you can save a ton and like it better. Imagine being happy with how you're taking care of your health care, whether you're self-employed or part of the gig economy, or you just want a plan that you're happy with. Here you go. You can call right now and get a price within 2 minutes. A very, very smart use of 2 minutes. Here's the number you need. It's 855-SHARE-40. 855-SHARE 40. 855-SHARE-40. 855-SHARE-40.
Since the dawn of time, man and wildlife have shared a connection, and hunting traditions passed down from generation to generation have connected man to the natural world, from bow and arrow to hook and bullet. As man evolved, our link to those traditions remain with them forever. Yet today, our basic instinct to provide and as part of the hunt to conserve and appreciate the natural world has fallen under attack for the first time in human history. The misguided politicians and radical activists pushing an agenda to end hunting as we know it, or leading a war against our heritage and their misguided policies and protests. They demonize hunters and belittle our way of life, the results of hunters leaving the sport in droves, while our wildlife and ecosystems suffer the consequences as conservation funding dries up. Named after the father of the North American model for wildlife conservation, the International Order of T. Roosevelt is fighting in the arena to protect and expand the rights of hunters everywhere. We will fight back against these forces to make sure that every American has a right to hunt, enshrined in their state constitutions. We will educate the next generation in our traditions and seek to expand accessibility so that everyone can enjoy our pastimes. And we will continue to hold true to our namesake's efforts to protect, preserve, and ensure open access to our nation's wildlands. Teddy Roosevelt's vision for American conservation defines our modern hunting and conservation system, a system upheld by the idea that conservation efforts are crucial to our hunting way of life, and that hunters are crucial to successful conservation.
To some, the sound of a baby babbling doesn't mean much, but that's not true. They're testing out vowels and consonants and trying different sounds. And by 12 months, their babbling is beginning to take on meaning, especially if there's no babbling at all. Little to no babbling by 12 months or later is just one of the possible signs of autism in children. Learn more at autismspeaks.org.
Hey, it's Drew Steele. Look, are you still playing defense with your money? It's time to shift gears and seize the fresh opportunities this new pro-business environment has to offer. That's exactly what certified financial planner professional Alfie Townsend and the team at Advantage Retirement Group do for high net worth investors like you, helping you go on the offense with advanced tax strategies, thoughtful risk management, and forward-thinking financial planning. Imagine enjoying the retirement lifestyle you've worked so hard to achieve, all while staying one step ahead and in a changing world. You've got to do it. Alfie and his team design personalized strategies to strengthen your financial foundation so you can focus on living life on your terms. Ready to find out more? Text VISIT to 239-747-7470. Again, you can call or text 239-747-7470. Schedule your one-on-one consultation today and see how a proactive approach can help you thrive no matter what the market does next. Don't wait. Call or text VISIT to 239-747-7470 right now.
Now, back to Florida's Voice with Drew Steele.
Anytime you want to call 866-588-8303. Anytime you want to watch NFL Voice News on YouTube, Rumble, X, and Facebook. All right, let's find out what's going on in the Florida's Voice newsroom. We call this Top of the News.
Top of the news, Florida's headlines. Now.
That's right. All right, Anita Padilla is in the Florida's Voice newsroom, AP as she's known. Find out what's up. What's up?
Hey there, Drew. Hillsborough County drops the charges against a man whose dog was found on the side of the road during Hurricane Milton. That's a case that drew national attention and had lawmakers drafting new legislation. I'll have that story in just a moment, but first, property tax relief. Homeowners want it, and House lawmakers are coming up with ways to make it happen. Among them, House Joint Resolution 203. It's pitched by Florida Representative Monique Miller. Her plan would phase out non-school property taxes over 10 years. Her proposal would increase the homestead exemption by $100,000 each year. Now, for most homeowners, she says that means their property taxes would disappear in about 3 years. But some counties could lose millions in revenue. And Miller says it means it's time for them to rethink local government spending. Lawmakers right now are considering multiple tax reform plans for the 2026 ballot. That's when voters could make the final call. Now to the story of Trooper. That's the dog that was found on the side of the road during Hurricane Milton, the one that led to a new state law. Well, charges in that case have been dropped. The Hillsborough County State Attorney Susie Lopez says there just wasn't enough evidence to prove that Giovanni Garcia intentionally tied the dog to a fence. The trooper who rescued the dog said that the collar was stuck. However, there was no rope or chain found in the area. The dog, now named Trooper, has been adopted. The good news in all of this is that lawmakers ended up passing Trooper's Law, making it a felony to abandon a restrained dog during a disaster. All right, if you like French fries, head over to Steak and Shake, apparently, because they are announcing removing all of the seed oils from its French fries. They call it a move to improve food quality. In a post on X, the chain said that the fries containing even a trace of seed oil will no longer be served, so 100% seed oil free. Now, the company did not say what they're going to use, but reports do suggest beef tallow is being tested. Now, this move does come as more and more customers are calling for cleaner ingredients and a return to traditional cooking methods. No word yet on when the new fries are going to roll out nationwide. I don't know about you, Drew, but French fries are my weakness, probably for a lot of people. And those French fries are pretty darn good, so it's going to be interesting to see how these all shake out when it's 100% seed oil free. All right, that's it for now. Be sure to check out our webpage. We've got more stories there, including the story about a teacher who may see his certificate yanked after he posted on social media that he hoped the unvaccinated people die quickly. Also, a new license plate that highlights the Ultimate Fighting Championship. Those stories and more at FLVoiceNews.com. I'm the news director, Anita Padilla, here at Florida's Voice. Drew, back over to you.
All right, AP in the Florida's Voice newsroom, and anytime you want to check out the stories that we are working on, simple, you just go to FLVoiceNews.com. That's Florida's Voice, the website. And you can see those stories at your fingertips or your screen or however that works. All right, what else do we have going on here at Florida's Voice? Hit me. All right. I know that there have been a lot of people that have been talking, obviously, about all kinds of issues, property tax issues. They're talking about the price of energy, and they're also talking about the affordability of housing or the lack of affordability. So what do we do about this? I mean, how is this all going to turn to get to a place where more and more people will be able to afford the house that they have been looking for? Well, Tommy Aiello is a senior director of government affairs at National Taxpayers Union, and we appreciate a visit with him right now here at Florida's Voice. It's Drew Steele. How are you, sir?
Hey, good afternoon. Thanks for having me.
It's great to see you. So, I'm wondering about how all of this is going to shake out. First of all, I think many people look at the interest rate issue as the number one deal when it comes to getting in or not getting in, as it were. I mean, is that something that we can see changing soon? Because, I mean, the president's been calling about interest rate changes. I mean, we'd like to have this happen. Where are we right now?
Yeah, it's such an important part of the equation for people that want to purchase a home or refinance their mortgage. So the way we look at it is mortgage rates are down about 75 basis points since President Trump was inaugurated. That's a pretty big deal. Right. Why is it a big deal? Well, for every point that mortgage rates drop, homeowners can save about $200 a month on their mortgage. That's a lot of money, right? That could be groceries for the week or your gas for 3 weeks out of the month. So the president's right that the sooner we can bring mortgage rates down, interest rates down, the more money Americans will have in their pocket to spend and stimulate the economy. It also helps families feel more secure. That $200, that's a lot of money to a working class family. So the quicker we can bring these mortgage rates down, and there's a Fed meeting next week that will hopefully result in another cut, the sooner we can put more money back in people's pockets. So it's a really big deal.
Yeah, no doubt. And I wonder where it's going to go. I wonder how low. I mean, obviously, the threes, hearing the number 3 as the first number, you might not see that for a very, very long time. But certainly there's room to move. And the question becomes, right, how quickly or how much, how many basis points they could jump there. The second part, too, is where's everybody going to go? I mean, what about like inventory, right? If people are looking to buy, looking to build, what about land? What about places where they can go? Where are we with that?
Yes, it's really a tale of two countries right now. You have, red states like Texas, Florida, certainly, and Tennessee, where a lot of people during COVID, they moved to these areas to enjoy freedom, right? And what's happened is we saw so much housing pressure in those areas that home prices skyrocketed, rental prices skyrocketed. But in the years since, there's been a flood of new inventory on the market. That's because builders have been building. They've been responding to the demand side of the supply and demand equation. So what have we seen over the past few years? Well, in a place like Texas, Austin specifically, rental prices are down 18% over the last few years. That's because you've had all these builders come in. So look, we look at interest rates and the demand as one, but we need to figure out how are we going to build more housing. And the president of the United States, he's a builder. He understands the importance of building houses. Yes, it creates a lot of construction jobs. It's good for the economy. But the more supply we have, the quicker we can bring rental prices down, mortgage prices down. So it's very, very important. And we need to be honest, there's only so much the federal government can do in this respect. But the one big beautiful bill, the president's Working Families Tax Cut Act, it had all of these good provisions to build more housing. So it's so great that we passed that bill. And I'm really confident over the next 12 to 18 months, we're going to see building permits skyrocket. We're going to see more builders enter the market to try and build housing, not just in places like Florida, but also New York and California. It's really, really important that we pass this bill, and we're going to see the benefits of it just in the next year.
I wonder how you there all feel at the National Taxpayers Union about the talk of property tax here in the state of Florida and giving the citizens some relief. And, the governor has been talking about eliminating it altogether. Some have had other approaches looking at this. But, ultimately, when someone like my dad, who has been in the same house for many, many years and has owned it outright, but still is paying on property tax, he's still basically a renter, so to speak, for, as he's paying on his tax. And so that, I would assume that when you look at the statewide, even locally, what you could do to make it easier on the taxpayer, for example, then that means that more people will be apt to jump in as well. If there's just that little tick on the interest side, the makeup of what would be the property tax and being able to save money on that side of it has to help as well, right?
Yeah, it certainly does. And, my parents, they moved from New York down to Florida because it's so much cheaper. You can save thousands, tens of thousands of dollars just from moving from a state like New York down to Florida on your property taxes every year. Yep. That's a lot of money. So, I think the Governor DeSantis, he's right. He's a great conservative champion for low taxes, no taxes. And I think when it comes to property taxes, a lot of voters vote for property taxes. They think it's going to help their schools. So we need to be honest with the voters when they go to the voting booth and they say, yes, I'll approve these, bond measures. I'll approve these property tax measures to increase my taxes. I think we need to have a conversation with them is what does that look like over the 10 to 15 year lifespan of those bonds and those property taxes? Taxes only go up over time. And I think we need to have a real conversation about how we can cap them at 2 to 3% per year. In many places where people are moving, we're seeing property taxes shoot up because you have these people from New York, New Jersey, and California okay with raising taxes. And I think that's a real part of the conversation that needs to be had.
Yeah. And they're all ending up here. So that's, you realize that's, Tommy, that's where they're coming right here to Florida. They're in our state, no doubt about it, which we love. That's great. Right. Also, obviously, people want to live on the coast. There's a lot of people who have their vision of exactly where they want to be. And it seems like it's around the edges as opposed to in the middle. That's a whole other topic and story. But before we go, let me just ask you this. I can't leave this conversation without asking the political side, red states versus blue states, blue cities versus red cities. Is there a dynamic there as well when it comes to this issue?
Yeah, it's like I said earlier, it's a tale of two countries. You have a place like Los Angeles, right, where if you want to build apartment buildings, you not only have to have a certain number of parking spots for every housing unit, but 20% of those parking lots have to have electric vehicle chargers. All of that adds costs. In New York, they put all these ridiculous compliance costs and new costs if you build over 100 stories. You're seeing a surge of permits up to 99 stories. That way people don't have to add all these extra costs over 100 stories. Right. So it's little things like that. When you add more costs and permitting onto these units, it just adds so much more time to build them to completion. So that's why we're supporting a really good bipartisan bill led by Congressman Mike Flood of Nebraska. It's a bipartisan housing bill that says if you are a locality applying for affordable housing funding from the Department of Housing and Urban Development, you need to show how you're reducing these barriers, reducing the zoning laws in order to responsibly increase the number of housing units that are in your area. That way, look, we're not spending more taxpayer money. We're making sure the dollars that we're sending to these localities are spent in a way that maximizes the number of housing units that could be built. Right. So it's a really great bill. We're proud to support it, and we're really hopeful it'll become law under President Trump.
So funny when you say about the 100-story, the different stories in the building. It's like people aren't dummies. They're going to work around. They're going to do what they're going to do for their bottom line and figure out how to get around what it is that you're stopping them from doing. People are just not dumb. They're going to work that way. And so the less regulation, the less harm you can put upon them, the better it's going to be for all of us.
Yeah. And it's not additional safety measures either. It's just they wanted to pay union members more money if you're building over 100 stories. So There's no safety component to it. It's just to pad the pockets of big unions. So it's another silly regulation that New York has, and it's going to push more people down to places like West Palm Beach and Cape Coral, Florida.
Yeah, there you go. All right, Tommy, listen, great to see you. All the best. God bless. And hopefully we can do this again soon, okay?
Thank you.
All right, appreciate it. That's Tommy Aiello, the Senior Director of Government Affairs at the National Taxpayers Union. Yeah, look, there's a lot of things going on with housing affordability and what we're going to see moving forward. We need to get the interest rates down, no doubt about it. The tax breaks for the average American family during the big, beautiful bill signing, and what we can see there is a positive, as well as anything that we can do here in local municipalities and statewide. Obviously, doging and what the governor has been talking about, and others now, is there have been some plans coming out about property tax relief, what that looks like. Is it really, I don't want to say is it really legit, but everybody's got their idea of how we're going to go about doing this. And even the one plan that was being discussed by Anita Padilla in the Florida's Voice newsroom by one state politician who's saying there's going to be like a 10-year plan there, basically to phase it out. Meaning what? That you're trusting on the other side that the governments just need the time to get it right? That they're not doing it now.
You're listening to Florida's Voice with Drew Steele.
Babes, what are you doing?
What? I'm just mowing the lawn.
No, it's blazing hot and dry out here. Don't you remember? Smokey Bear says.
Avoid using power equipment when it's windy or dry.
Where'd you learn this?
Oh, it's on
SmokeyBear.com with many other wildfire prevention tips.
Right. Thanks, honey bear.
Because remember, only you can prevent wildfires.
Brought to you by the USDA Forest Service, your state forester, and the Ad Council.
All right, son. Time to put out this campfire.
Dad, we learned about this in school.
Oh, did you now? Okay. What's first?
Smokey Bear said to.
First drown it with a bucket of water, then stir it with a shovel.
Wow. You sound just like him.
Then he said.
If it's still warm, then do it again.
Where can I learn all this?
It's all on SmokeyBear.com with other wildfire prevention tips, because only you can prevent wildfires.
Brought to you by the USDA Forest Service, your state forester, and the Ad Council.
A lot of times you have to choose between something high quality or something that saves you money. But if you could get both, why not? Especially when it comes to health care, and that is MediShare. You get both. Many families save $500 a month with MediShare, and that's huge. But it's also true that people wind up way more satisfied, too. The member satisfaction rate for MediShare is double that of the typical health insurance plan. Double. That's because MediShare works. It has for more than 30 years. It's a community of Christians who have shared more than $5 billion of each other's bills. People love having telehealth. They love the huge PPO network. So, yeah, really, you can save a ton and like it better. Imagine being happy with how you're taking care of your health care. So if you're self-employed or part of the gig economy, or you just want a plan you're happy with, you can call right now and get a price in 2 minutes. Here's the number. Just call 855-SHARE-40. That's 855-SHARE-40. 855-SHARE-40.
Hey, it's Drew Steele. Look, if you're looking to take advantage of today's pro-business environment and strengthen your financial future, certified financial planner professional Alfie Townsend and his team at Advantage Retirement Group have got you covered. They specialize in advanced tax strategies, risk management, and retirement planning, all aimed at helping high net worth investors like you thrive. Now, Alfie wants to share those insights with you with his book, Keeping You on the Retirement Fairway. It's packed with practical tips and forward-thinking strategies to help you make the most out of your hard-earned wealth. Ready to get your free copy? Text BOOK to 239-747-7470. That's 239-747-7470. Don't wait. Learn how to capitalize on that pro-business opportunities that are out there right now and secure the confident retirement you deserve. Once again, text BOOK to 239-747-7470 right now, and let Alfie Townsend and Advantage Retirement Group help guide you toward a stronger, more confident financial future.
We're with Bridget, whose husband won't be home for months and whose daughter is due any day. We're with Mike, who's leaving home to protect his family and yours. We're with all service members and their families who need community, connection, and maybe a bit of magic. Are you with them? Learn more at uso.org today. We're with Liam after his 4th military move, when being new is starting to get old. We're with Tara during the holidays, when she misses home the most. We're with all service members and their families who need connection, comfort, and a home away from home. Are you with them? Learn more at uso.org today.
Now, back to Florida's Voice with Drew Steele.
Oh, but this is ridiculous. Somebody just sent this to me. All right. D's on the other side of the glass. By the way, anytime you want to call, 866-588-8303. Anytime you want to watch on YouTube, Rumble, X, and Facebook at FL Voice News. And by the way, I'm seeing today a lot of different messages. So I'm looking at some of the messages that are coming through on social media too. So if you want to message us, I've got that, and maybe I can even talk about some of them live. D, do you know these the Swiss shoe company On? It's like, I don't know if it's still like the hottest shoe out there, but it was for a long time.
I don't even think I've heard of that.
Okay, so On are those sneakers that look like waffles at the bottom. They have the little, they're like circular at the bottom. So the bottom of the shoe, how do you explain an On shoe? You've seen them on people, like they're an athletic shoe, but
I've got an image up here on my computer.
Okay, so you've seen those shoes before. Okay.
Yeah, maybe not that exact type, but maybe like something very similar.
All right, so check this out. Listen to this. Apparently, the shoe company is facing a class action lawsuit because customers are recording their shoes squeaking. They won't stop squeaking when you walk. And it's so embarrassing. People are like, what do we do about it? So they're doing a class action suit, and that's what it sounds like. That's the squeaking of the...
I could not walk around all day like that.
I mean, how many people have... You have to know somebody who has these shoes, and I've never heard of that before. I feel like sometimes, maybe it's just me, I don't know, it's just Drew Steele speaking, so that's it. I don't know, sometimes I feel like it's a couple of disgruntled people on TikTok, and it's like, I got this, and somebody's like, yeah, and then there's like 5 people, and they're like, let's get together. It's like, all right, so your shoe squeaks, so bring it back. Like, return them. Or something. Although shoes are tricky, right? Because you got to be careful with shoes, because you can't take them outside and walk on them. You got to, either when you buy the shoe, or if you take them home, you got to make sure they don't have any dirt on the bottom. You got to be really careful. No scuffs, nothing like that if you want to ever return them. Shoes are the trickiest thing to return, I think. Is there anything trickier to return than shoes?
I don't really return anything.
Oh, you're that guy. You're just like, ugh, I just lost $500.
No, or just do a better job at ordering things.
So you just keep an... All right, so I think I'd say the hardest thing to return probably... Well, besides underwear, like that's not happening. Like we're not even kids. Valuable lesson. That's it. Don't think for 1 second that you are going to buy on any place, Amazon or anywhere else. You're going to buy underwear and then be like, I'm not sure if I like this fit. No. We don't do that. That is a no. Okay, can we confirm that, D?
Yes, you will learn to like that fit.
That's it. That's your fit. That's it. If you don't like the fit, then throw it away. Because at that point, yeah. It's a good thing that underwear is... why are we doing this? I'm sorry. Forgive me. All right, let's move on. I know. Why can't... You just should have told me. Move on from this. All right, I'm moving on. All right, what else do we have going on here at Florida's Voice? There's got to be something else. Yeah, there's a lot coming up. The deputy FBI director, Dan Bongino, on Fox and Friends this morning. I can't believe that this even was happening there in Palm Beach. You've got to be kidding me. A hunting stand positioned with a clear shot at President Trump's Air Force One in Palm Beach. And the deputy FBI director was talking about it on Fox and Friends this morning. I'm going to play that clip. Unbelievable. Also, some more from Democrats and the shutdown. Some talk about that over the weekend. And KJP, the former White House press secretary, was making the rounds talking about a new book. Wait till you hear this audio.
You're listening to Florida's Voice with Drew Steele.
It's 4 a.m., Monday, and you're literally sucking baby snot through a tube because she's congested. Man, that's love. And if you love her that much, love her enough to make sure she's buckled in the right car seat. To make sure your child's in the right seat for their age and size, visit nhtsa.gov/the right seat. Show them you love them. Keep them safe. Visit nhtsa.gov/the right seat. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council. You let him try violin because you love him. And if you love him that much, love him enough to make sure he's buckled up and in the back seat. Find out more at nhtsa.gov/the right seat. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
I don't think that many kids in my son's school even do it.
No way. No way. No way.
No way. My kid would never vape.
Get your head out of the cloud. Talk to your kid about vaping. Visit talkaboutvaping.org.
You're listening to Florida's Voice with Drew Steele. Florida's Voice with Drew Steele.
Congratulations on your show.
Congratulations on your new show. Big deal, huh?
That's why shows like yours are so important. We have an independent county elected sheriff that's the head of law enforcement in Jacksonville/Duval County. And I know how to work toward making this city safe.
We can't be shy about speaking on things such as faith and politics. We have to remember, in a free society, the public square belongs to all of us.
I'm not interested in North Florida looking like Orlando or Miami. I love where we live, but I think that good jobs means that people that live in this district can stay in this district.
Fishing and hunting is funding a large part of your conservation projects in Florida, and we want to make sure that those are forever preserved.
And the problem with this industry at this point is that they actually target our youth. You can see it in their marketing strategies where it's bright colors, fun names.
And that's going to be endlessly litigated.
Florida's Voice with Drew Steele.
Hey, it's Drew Steele. Look, are you still playing defense with your money? Now might be the perfect time to go on offense and seize the opportunities presented by the new pro-business environment ushered in by President Trump and his administration. That's exactly what certified financial planner professional Alfie Townsend and his team at Advantage Retirement Group do for high net worth investors like you. They create strategies designed to help manage taxes, control risks, and boost your financial confidence. It's a forward-thinking approach that can strengthen your foundation so you can enjoy the lifestyle you've worked so hard to achieve. If you're ready to see how Alfie's team can help elevate your plan, call or text VISIT to 239-747-7470. Again, text VISIT to 239-747-7470. Schedule your one-on-one consultation today and discover proactive strategies to help you thrive in an ever-changing world. Again, text VISIT to 239-747-7470. Don't wait. Let Alfie Townsend and the Advantage Retirement Group team guide you toward a stronger, more confident financial future.
I've been dipping snuff for well over 30 years. You know, I could wake up in the morning and have a weird lump in my gums. Guess it's like playing Russian roulette, really. I would love grandchildren. And if by quitting it extends my life some, I would gladly lay it down.
Visit tobaccofreeflorida.com to find free resources to help you quit your way.
Today, push harder, push forward, push vigorously.
There are things that I am hiding from people that I'm trying to inspire.
You can do whatever you set your mind to.
I feel like a hypocrite a lot of the times.
Don't give up on yourself ever.
Smoking, I hide it because I'm ashamed of it. I want to get out of the shadow. I want to show people there is light away from the darkness. I am going to quit.
Visit tobaccofreeflorida.com to find free resources to help you quit your way.
We're with Bridget, whose husband won't be home for months and whose daughter is due any day. We're with Mike, who's leaving home to protect his family and yours. We're with all service members and their families who need community, connection, and maybe a bit of magic. Are you with them? Learn more at uso.org today. We're with Liam after his 4th military move, when being new is starting to get old. We're with Tara during the holidays, when she misses home the most. We're with all service members and their families who need connection, comfort, and a home away from home. Are you with them? Learn more at uso.org today.
Hey, it's Drew Steele, and you know I love the Floor Meisters in Naples. Locally family-owned business, 3 generations of Meisters. Listen, what are you looking for? Carpet, tile, hardwood, Core-Tech? Maybe that's what you're looking for. And why don't we talk to TJ Meister right now of the Floor Meisters and find out what's going on with Core-Tech. What's up, TJ?
Well, we're just keeping up with the demand for Core-Tech. Just had to order a truck and bring it in from the west coast of the United States to keep up with all the needs and wants of the people of Southwest Florida. Somebody doesn't have it, give me a call. I probably do.
I tell you, I love my Core-Tech floor. People love it. What is it about it that makes it so awesome?
Well, it's waterproof, kid-proof, pet-proof. So if you got a pool, no problem. If you got a dog, no problem. If you got a husband that spills, no problem.
Floor Meisters, that's who I trust, and you should as well. 6281 Naples Boulevard in Naples. 239-596-4964 for the Floor Meisters.
Let's see, if something costs less, a lot less, but people are actually happier with it, that sounds like something to look into, and that's MetaShare. Maybe you've heard joining MetaShare can save you or your family up to $500 a month, and that's huge, but it's also true. People are just happier with it. They love being part of something that reflects and promotes their values and what they believe in. MetaShare works, too. It's been around for 30 years now, and members have shared more than $7 billion of each other's bills. People love having telehealth and a huge nationwide PPO network, so yeah, really, you can save a ton and like it better. Imagine being happy with how you're taking care of your health care, whether you're self-employed or part of the gig economy, or you just want a plan that you're happy with. Here you go. You can call right now and get a price within 2 minutes. A very, very smart use of 2 minutes. Here's the number you need. It's 855-SHARE-40. 855-SHARE-40. 855-SHARE-40.
Thank you for waking us all up out here, for all you do. And
thank you for giving us a voice.
For being out there helping to keep the constitutional republic. I want to thank you for your support for veterans in the military. Educating us. Standing up for conservatism. Giving us the truth.
Florida's Voice with Drew Steele.
Well, hey, everybody. So glad you're joining us today on Florida's Voice. My name is Drew Steele, Big D on the other side of the glass. Nina's in the breaking newsroom, and you hanging out with us at FL Voice News on YouTube, Rumble, X, and Facebook. How did your No Kings weekend go? D, how did your No Kings weekend go? We already know. He told us. It was, look, we know exactly what went down over the weekend. We had a lot of old white people who follow ABC, NBC, CBS, and still think that those are the 3 networks that are available to them, and everything they say is gospel. So whatever they say, we just follow along with it. And if they say Trump's a Nazi, then apparently he is. And even though they don't necessarily understand why, but if they're being told that, then they're running with it. Oh, and by the way, it was a totally positive, totally patriotic movement. How do I know? Because Jamie Raskin, Democrat, told MSNBC while they were trying to project 7 million plus people. I don't think there were 7 million people across the country. But, you know, all right, if you could throw out any number. Listen, if you're a Democrat, you could say anything you want to say. And the media's like, yeah, I guess so. 100 million people showed up. I couldn't believe it. No, they really didn't. But anyway, he says.
No, on the contrary, it was, of course, totally positive, totally patriotic, and totally supportive of us getting the American government back in business again, reopening and supporting the healthcare of the American people and supporting the federal workforce.
Let me just stop for a second. So all you have to do to get the federal government back open again is sign the clean CR. There's nothing tricky in there. Just sign it and then make this debate at a later date during the budget. But you won't do it. So you're holding everything up. And I love the beginning there. It's
no, on the contrary, it was, of course, totally positive, totally patriotic.
Okay, so totally positive and totally patriotic. I just want to double check all of that and make sure it was totally positive and patriotic. Let's start with the positive.
Is that for Trump?
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Reference to Hitler in the bunker, when the end all is ended and he shoots himself.
So you're saying you're hoping that happens to Trump?
Yeah, this is the way this is going. He's a Nazi. It's going to end up all alone in his little White House.
So there you go. There's a person that's holding a sign that says, let's go to when he shoots himself in the bunker. That's a reference to Hitler. And so that's I don't know. I'm not, I don't know a lot about signs and stuff and people holding signs, but I'm thinking that if somebody put that out there, that's not positive. There's tons of examples that I could play right now of people not being positive, along with the people that really didn't know exactly why they were standing out on the street to begin with. I mean, they were there and there was a reason.
No King's Day.
And why specifically are you out supporting No King's Day?
I think protest is important.
Why are you protesting?
How much time do you have?
A couple minutes. And what's the main reason you're out here protesting President Trump?
I agree with a lot of the decisions that are being made.
Is there any decision in particular you disagree with?
So I would start with,
See, here's the thing about positivity and patriotism. The positivity side, you probably shouldn't say things about the president being like Hitler, and you got to stop this and Nazis and all of that. And as a matter of fact, some might say in 2024 you lost an election because you kept saying things like this, and people are like, you're ridiculous. We had Trump as president before 2016 to 2020, and things were pretty awesome, as a matter of fact, and nobody had anything going on like you're suggesting then. So why would it be this way now? Because some might say you're a little nutty and kooky and loopy, and that's just being kind. And then the second part is the patriotic part. So patriotic people protest, and then they understand why they're protesting, mostly because they understand civics. They understand how government works. They understand the founding of the country, and they care about that kind of thing because, constitutional republic, that's how we're run here. And you know about these things. And then when you see something that's going against the constitutional republic that we are, and the duly elected president and the like, then you get out there and you might protest and that kind of stuff. So when you don't know why, but you're free to do it, which is the good thing, which is a strange thing, because if I was thinking Nazi Germany, I'm thinking you don't go out and protest and be able to do that 7 million strong, I'm told, because somebody who was a dictator like that, authoritarianism and fascist, I don't think the whole free speech thing would be working for them. So you got your time out. You had a chance to go out and say a few things. You're out there, I don't know.
Recently, with Charlie Kirk being assassinated,
It's a piece of garbage. Of course we were mean. I am so tired of people saying, oh, but, it's a terrible thing. No, Hitler is dead.
Yeah, about the positivity thing, that's no. I got a ton of those clips, but it hurts my heart to play it. Mostly it hurts my heart to play it because I noticed that a lot of the people that were talking were with like their grandkids and getting their kids and grandkids to hold these signs up. And that was the attitude that they have. And I feel bad that children got dragged into this, holding signs, not realizing what they're holding. Parents have the freedom to do all of this, to speak out against the president, which, okay, you lost an election. Don't make it seem like he's taking something away from you. There are no kings here. He's not a king. He won the Electoral College and the popular vote. So what in the world are you talking about? Why don't you explain that to your kids? You know civics, right? All right. So there's that. Also, some other things that are going on here that I just noticed here at Florida's Voice. Oh, so the president of the United States wants to send National Guard to Portland. There are radical judges who are like, yeah, you're not allowed to do that because we run the joint. I didn't know that is we run the joint in where in the Constitution? Where in the Bill of Rights? What part of the Constitution? Where is it in there that it says we run the joint, us judges here? I'm just wondering. But anyway. So you have MSNBC's legal correspondent, Lisa Rubin. She seems very upset today. What's she so upset about? What in the world was going on?
It is a big deal, and I want to just correct one thing and then explain why functionally it is the same. This is a stay of Judge Immergut's opinion, and that's why it reached the Ninth Circuit as soon as it did, because this is an emergency motion to essentially pause her order. But
oh, wait a second. Now I know why she's upset. If you're like, who's this NBC legal analyst, Lisa Rubin? Doesn't matter. Why is she upset? Well, here's why. Because it turns out that the Ninth Circuit has just issued an emergency motion that allows the President of the United States, authorizes him, which should have been done anyway, but you're trying to hold things up. We get it. To deploy the National Guard in Portland. We conclude that it is likely that the president lawfully exercised his statutory authority, under 10 section USC section 12406. So he can do it. He's going to do it. He needs to do it. And the legal correspondent there on MSNBC is like, that's all you need to know. So they're upset. And anytime lefties are upset, it's always fun. Kind of like KJP, Karine Jean-Pierre. Remember, she used to be the White House press secretary back when...
True international average of pressure.
When that guy was president, saying that kind of stuff. And when he would do these kind of things, and I could play multiple clips of the former president of the United States saying that and then some, and everybody kind of shaking their head like, something's not right with Joe. It really feels like something's wrong here. And you even have places like the Bulwark, which is like a podcast that I guess is for lefties, because I don't think KJP would go, well, maybe she would go onto Fox because she's trying to sell a book. But here is an exchange between one of the hosts on one of these lefty podcasts and Karine Jean-Pierre trying to convince the host that Joe Biden is just as talkative with the press and everything else as Donald Trump is. And wait, what?
We did have legislative wins.
Sure,
and
but he didn't talk about him that well, though. He couldn't talk about them. He wasn't campaigning.
No. Wait. First of all, he did talk about them.
No, he really didn't. He didn't go out and campaign on. He didn't talk about any of these legislative wins. He was barely out there at all.
Whether it broke through or not, he did. Tim, he did talk about.
He talked way less to the press than Donald Trump does. Way less. And he wasn't out there at all. He wasn't good off the cuff. He wasn't doing press conferences. Let's just be real. Like he didn't do paid events.
Tim, that's not true. Tim, you're conflating all of it.
Ooh, let me stop for a second. Ooh, this is good. So Karine Jean-Pierre is very upset that someone, Tim Miller, I guess, is on this podcast. And she's very upset with him that he would dare say something like the president, talks way less to the press than Donald Trump does. And she's like, that's not true. But who in their right mind thinks that Joe Biden talks as much to the press as Donald Trump? Well, Karine Jean-Pierre, and this is good. Do you know why this is good? Because this kind of back and forth needs to continue to happen. The American people through social media, where they're getting their news, Florida's Voice, social media at FL Voice News on YouTube, Rumble X, and Facebook, along with other places. Not the alphabet bureaucracies, the alphabet media outlets. There's a whole thing with the alphabet bureaucracies that we'll get to in just a bit. But they're not getting their information there. And so they're in trouble. Because if they keep talking like this and trying to convince you that the things that you saw and witnessed really aren't true, and you don't believe your lying eyes because your lying eyes are always lying to your lying eyes, keep it up. Because I don't know that you win elections on the other side of this. She's saying that they weren't paying attention to what they were doing at the White House. The president spoke to the American people a couple of times a week. Are you sure? Like, I'm just saying that that's not talking. I don't know what that is. All right. Anyway, 866-588-8303 is the phone number. So I saw this story. I know last week we were talking about a lot of issues with regard to what the Supreme Court has in front of them. There's a decision that's going to decide whether drug users can possess guns. Let's find out more with Zach Attack. Zach Smith is joining us right now on Florida's Voice, of course, senior legal fellow at the Heritage Foundation, heritage.org. Sorry, get used to it, Zach. It's Zach Attack, and that's what it is.
Listen, I'm loving it, Drew. I'll take it any day of the week.
All right. So tell me more about what the Supreme Court today, that they agreed to consider.
Yeah, so the Supreme Court today came out with a list of orders. They added 3 cases to their docket that they'll hear this term likely after the new year. And as you mentioned, one of those is a case called United States versus Hamadi, where essentially the court is being asked to decide whether a federal law that prohibits people who use illegal drugs, who are chronic users of illegal drugs, and that law prohibits those individuals from possessing or owning firearms, the court is being asked to decide whether that is a violation of the Second Amendment. Now, what's interesting is that lower federal courts ruled in favor of the defendant in this case, so this did violate his Second Amendment rights, but the Solicitor General's office under the Trump administration, led by John Sauer, has weighed in and said that this type of restriction is in line with historic precedents, that this is one of the narrow exceptions that the framers of the Constitution would have been understood to essentially be carved out from the Second Amendment.
Right. I wonder if does the Hunter Biden case kind of fall into this category? I was wondering about that. You know, the possession of the Colt, the revolver in 2018 while he was addicted to crack cocaine. Is there anything like with regard to that story in that case that could have something to do with this case?
Yeah, 100%. Drew, you get a gold star from the Zach Smith School of Law for whatever that's worth.
I didn't know. Wait a minute. I didn't know you were giving out gold stars. Continue, though. Okay.
Listen, that you were right on the money, drawing that connection. Yes, this is absolutely a parallel. This is the same type of charge that was brought against Hunter Biden that he likely would have had to face consequences for unless his father, Joe Biden, pardoned him. So he essentially got off without having to deal with the repercussions for his own criminal conduct. But look, I think the facts of this case are very important. Just to put it in perspective, when FBI agents raided the home of this particular defendant, they found a Glock 9mm handgun, they found 60 grams of marijuana, and they found 4.7 grams of cocaine. And so this is not someone who may be arguing they were using illegal drugs in the distant past and have now reformed their ways. This is not someone who is arguing they, may occasionally have a drug habit. This is someone who is caught with possession and really quantity sufficient to indicate is probably dealing it too, although we're simply focusing on use of illegal drugs under this particular statute. But this is someone that they found drugs in concert with the handgun as well. And look, one of the interesting things to watch in this case, Drew, we've heard a lot about originalism, the way different justices look at history and tradition in the United States. And again, what the Trump administration is essentially arguing is at the time our Constitution was adopted, there were certain statutes on the books that prohibited habitual drunkards from possessing firearms. The government was able to, at least temporarily in some instances, restrict those individuals from owning or possessing firearms. And so the government's arguing that's essentially the same type of thing that's happening here.
Wow. Okay. I know you said there were a couple of other things that the court was considering. Can you give us a little bit of information on that as well?
Yeah, I can. There are not really any interesting cases, some involving essentially arbitration. There are some other ones involving none of the sexy cases really that we think about. But what's going to be interesting is the Supreme Court also released its argument calendar for December. So we know what cases are going to be argued in November. We know what cases are going to be argued in December now. And in terms of what is now set to be argued in December, we know that the justices are going to hear a very important case involving President Trump's ability to remove Rebecca Slaughter at the FTC, the Federal Trade Commission. We know the justices are going to hear a very important First Amendment campaign finance case that originally was brought by J.D. Vance when he was the vice president. It's the National Republican Senatorial Campaign Committee versus the FEC. That will be heard on Tuesday, December 9th. And there are a couple of others as well. But this is going to be a big November and December as the justices hear these cases.
Wow. All right. Well, we'll certainly have you on sooner than that, I'm sure. But still, there's a lot to look at. So like this particular case, now they agreed to hear this today. So How does this run through the pipeline? The one that we just talked about, the one we just discussed, the Hamani case.
Yeah, so the justices have agreed to hear it. They haven't set it for oral argument yet. Essentially, what will happen now is the parties will have to file additional briefs. You'll probably ask for something what's known as amicus brief, essentially friend of court briefs to weigh in, lay out their views, help the justices understand the issues, and then it will eventually be set for oral argument. And I suspect it will probably be set for oral argument in the new year. Certainly it'll be set in the new year, maybe January, February. It may slip to March. We'll have to see. But like with many of the other cases, we'll expect a decision no later than the end of June next year.
Gotcha. All right, Zach Smith joining us on Florida's Voice. Zach Attack, as we like to call it, because we're coming at you with the knowledge. All right, my friend. We'll see you soon. All the best. God bless.
Thanks so much. Take care.
All right, we'll see you. That is Zach Smith from the Heritage Foundation, heritage.org. Always appreciate a visit to talk a little bit of SCOTUS. Good stuff. All right. This is not good stuff. This was hard to believe when the news came out. This hunting stand position with a clear shot at the president's Air Force One in Palm Beach. The deputy FBI director, Dan Bongino, on this morning on Fox and Friends to talk about this. Let's take a listen.
I saw this disturbing thing, a hunting stand right in the area of Palm Beach Airport, which would have had a clear shot at Air Force One. We can see it. What could you tell us about this, Dan?
Yeah, I was on the phone about this all day yesterday. It's interesting. When I got back from the mall, most of my you don't get the days off here. It's something you sign up for. So it's unfortunate sometimes we got to take care of these things. We wish they wouldn't happen. But here's what happens with this. Let me walk the American public through how this works. The FBI is not responsible, obviously, for the security plan of the president. That's the purview of the Secret Service. However, if the Secret Service finds something that they believe could be criminal, I want to emphasize it could be, we take over. We have what's called an MOU, a Memorandum of Understanding with the Secret Service, where we will investigate after that. I was on the phone yesterday, back and forth with the D2, the Deputy Director over at the Secret Service, Matt Quinn, great guy. They were very concerned. Their security sweep discovered this hunting stand. The director was, Kash Patel, was directly involved right away. I'm on the email chain with him. He ordered an immediate response. I believe we had our plane flown down there. This hunting stand was appropriately dismantled, being flown to our lab. I believe it's there right now. And all of the forensic tools we have, from digital tools to biometric tools, they are all going to be applied to try to find out who put this up there and why.
Wow. All right, so that is the FBI Deputy Director, Dan Bongino, who, by the way, that's what makes Dan so fantastic. Full disclosure, I worked for Dan for a few years, and I can tell you this, one of the things that is so fantastic about him is how he lays it all out. He explains everything from the beginning to end, so walks you through the whole situation. And you had this hunting stand position, clear shot at the president's Trump's Air Force One in Palm Beach, flown back. Now they found it and they dismantled it to fly it back to the lab, forensic tools, everything to figure out who put this up there and why. And they're going to do it. Unfortunately, the threats continue. And no better people than Kash Patel, Dan Bongino, certainly on the FBI side, to investigate, to look into, and to be on top of a lot of what has been happening in this country. Certainly, when you hear the story, it's like, yeah, one of the, again, one of many things that we have to continue to watch and protect the president. No doubt. 866-588-8303 is the phone number. All right, just want to remind everybody that we're getting closer and closer to the temperatures dropping, which is very, very nice. No doubt about it. On the air conditioner side, always got to have it. On the heating side, can't wait for that smell. Can't wait for the first day when I get to kick on the heater and just smell that Yeah, that nasty smell that we all get, the first time you kick it on here in the state of Florida, you know what I'm talking about. But at the same time, I know the heater's working. I know the air conditioner's working. How's yours? Are you ready for that smell? I mean, maybe you're not ready for the smell, but you want to make sure the air conditioner is running right. Maybe you need to get a hold of Strata AC, StrataAC.com, Strata Air Conditioning and Heating, get a tune-up for the unit you have, or maybe it's time to get a new one because it's 10 years older and, you need it. Be ready. StrataAC.com, StradaAC.com. You ought to call Strata. License number CACO 43953. Top of the news coming up.
You're listening to Florida's Voice with Drew Steele.
I'm Chris Jakovic. I served in the United States Air Force and I deployed 3 times. Being a veteran, it's interwoven into your DNA, is really the absence of the connection and the purpose that can really drive a lot of veterans to some negative thoughts. For those who are in a suicidal crisis, the window of time to save somebody's life is very short. Our duty is to protect ourselves and protect our families. And one way you can do that is store your weapons safely. Store all your guns securely. Help stop suicide.
Brought to you by End Family Fire and the Ad Council.
Hey, it's Drew Steele, and I have to tell you, when my wife and I talked about getting new kitchen countertops for our house, we know who to call. Rock Solid Countertops and More, 2240 JNC Boulevard in Naples. And they have been absolutely amazing. Hugo and the team are the best. The workmanship has been absolutely incredible. The install was so easy. The process was perfect. Taking everything out, bringing the new stuff in. The quartz countertop is unbelievably beautiful, and my wife is super happy, I'll tell you. You know they have the best quality and selection of marble, quartz, granite, and a one-stop shop for all of your kitchen, outdoor, and bathroom needs. I've known it for years. I've lived in Southwest Florida 40 years. There was really only one place I was going to go. It's Rock Solid Countertops and More. I would suggest you give them a call, 596-7676. They're at 2240 JNC Boulevard in Naples. Find out what they can do for you. Countertops, cabinets, plantation shutters, they do it all. Rock Solid Countertops and More.
Let's see, if something costs less, a lot less, but people are actually happier with it, that sounds like something to look into. And that's MediShare. Maybe you've heard joining MediShare can save you or your family up to $500 a month, and that's huge. But it's also true, people are just happier with it. They love being part of something that reflects and promotes their values and what they believe in. MediShare works, too. It's been around for 30 years now, and members have shared more than $7 billion of each other's bills. People love having telehealth and a huge nationwide PPO network, so yeah, really, you can save a ton and like it better. Imagine being happy with how you're taking care of your health care, whether you're self-employed or part of the gig economy, or you just want a plan that you're happy with. Here you go. You can call right now and get a price within 2 minutes. A very, very smart use of 2 minutes. Here's the number you need. It's 855-SHARE-40. 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 855-SHARE-40.
Since the dawn of time, man and wildlife have shared a connection, and hunting traditions passed down from generation to generation have connected man to the natural world, from bow and arrow to hook and bullet. As man evolved, our link to those traditions remain with them forever. Yet today, our basic instinct to provide and as part of the hunt to conserve and appreciate the natural world has fallen under attack for the first time in human history. The misguided politicians and radical activists pushing an agenda to end hunting as we know it, or leading a war against our heritage and their misguided policies and protests. They demonize hunters and belittle our way of life, the results of hunters leaving the sport in droves, while our wildlife and ecosystems suffer the consequences as conservation funding dries up. Named after the father of the North American model for wildlife conservation, the International Order of T. Roosevelt is fighting in the arena to protect and expand the rights of hunters everywhere. We will fight back against these forces to make sure that every American has a right to hunt, enshrined in their state constitutions. We will educate the next generation in our traditions and seek to expand accessibility so that everyone can enjoy our pastimes. And we will continue to hold true to our namesake's efforts to protect, preserve, and ensure open access to our nation's wild lands. Teddy Roosevelt's vision for American conservation defines our modern hunting and conservation system, a system upheld by the idea that conservation efforts are crucial to our hunting way of life, and that hunters are crucial to successful conservation.
To some, the sound of a baby babbling doesn't mean much, but that's not true. They're testing out vowels and consonants and trying different sounds. And by 12 months, their babbling is beginning to take on meaning, especially if there's no babbling at all. Little to no babbling by 12 months or later is just one of the possible signs of autism in children. Learn more at autismspeaks.org.
Hey, it's Drew Steele. Look, are you still playing defense with your money? It's time to shift gears and seize the fresh opportunities this new pro-business environment has to offer. That's exactly what certified financial planner professional Alfie Townsend and the team at Advantage Retirement Group do for high net worth investors like you, helping you go on the offense with advanced tax strategies, thoughtful risk management, and forward-thinking financial planning. Imagine enjoying the retirement lifestyle you've worked so hard to achieve, all while staying one step ahead, and in a changing world, you've got to do it. Alfie and his team design personalized strategies to strengthen your financial foundation so you can focus on living life on your terms. Ready to find out more? Text VISIT to 239-747-7470. Again, you can call or text 239-747-7470. Schedule your one-on-one consultation today and see how a proactive approach can help you thrive no matter what the market does next. Don't wait. Call or text VISIT to 239-747-7470 right now.
Now, back to Florida's Voice with Drew Steele.
All right, anytime you want to watch it, FL Voice News on YouTube, Rumble, X, and Facebook. Anytime you want to check out the program after hours, goes up right after the show, Florida's Voice with Drew Steele, the podcast. You can go to Apple Podcasts, Spotify, wherever you get it. And you can go to my website, drewsteele.com. Steele has 3 E's. You can go there and listen 24/7. All right, time for the top 5 audio clips of the day. It's my top 5.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. This is Drew's top 5. Number 5.
About Donald Trump shutdowns, net approval rating, we're talking 20 days into it. In 2018/2019, Donald Trump's net approval rating was already falling. The shutdown was eating into his popular support. It was down 3 points already at this particular point and would fall considerably more. It was very much on the decline. You come over to this side of the screen, this shutdown hasn't eaten into Donald Trump's support at all. His net approval rating is actually up a point in terms of his popular support. So the bottom line is this. The first shutdown during Trump's first term, 2018-2019, was hurting Donald Trump. This one is not hurting him at all. There's no real reason Donald Trump might say, at least when it comes to popular support, I want to get out of this shutdown.
Whoa, well, how about that? So President Trump's net approval rating now is increased during the Democrat shutdown. And I guess the No Kings protest, you're going to have to kind of forget about that and move on from it because it appears as if that's not going to help either. But how about you like apples? How about them apples?
Number 4.
You know, Senator, back in 2019, you made a similar argument during that shutdown that Republicans are making now. Republicans at the time were asking for more funding for a border wall. You said, let's reopen the government first. I want to play a little bit of what you had to say.
We first should reopen government. Why punish people who are applying for food stamps because the president is having a temper tantrum? Open government first.
So, Senator, by your own logic, should Democrats not vote to reopen the government first and negotiate later?
Kristen, here's what's different now. The president told the Republicans to write this budget without any Democratic involvement.
I guess so. So your answer is no. No, it's different now. It's completely different now than it was before. No. It's actually the same. So, by your logic, shouldn't Democrats not vote to reopen the government first, negotiate later? I mean, let's reopen everything and we can talk later. No, it's different for us because, oh, by the way, that's Senator Tim Kaine. I don't know if you know this, but it's a trivia question. And let's see, is D back yet? D, are you back there?
I'm here.
Okay. The best, most fun trivia question that I ever ask of people is, what's the name of Hillary Clinton's running mate in 2016?
You want me to answer that?
Well, you don't have to answer it now because that's who it is. Well, Tim Kaine. And anytime I ask people, they're like, I kind of try to forget those times. But anyway, that's Senator Tim Kaine. So 2019, we got to bring everybody back, and now it's just different because because Trump. That's how it works.
Number 3.
Equipment anywhere in the world by far, and you got to watch that. Watch that. You're not allowed to break that. That mirror is 400 years old. A camera just hit the mirror. I just moved it up here special from the vaults, and first thing that happens, the camera hits it.
So the president scolding the fake news media because somebody banged into a historic mirror, 400 years old, just moved into the cabinet room, and he's like, oh boy, you're just you banging into the besting the place up. Take it easy back there.
Number 2.
What has President Trump done to make him a monarch?
He started to take control and do illegal things and that are not within his power. So that's pretty much what makes a person a monarch. They take complete control even though they shouldn't have it.
What illegal things has he done?
Come here. What illegal things? Everything that he has done except for get elected. Every single thing since he's gotten into office.
So deporting illegal immigrants, is that illegal?
Deporting illegal immigrants, if they're here peacefully, yes.
If they're illegally here, though, if they came illegally?
If they came here illegally, I believe we're a country.
I can't do it. That was one of the more mild, made me laugh moments from the No Kings rally of the millions of individuals out on the street across the country who had no clue why they were out there, what they were doing, what this is all about. Just admit it. You didn't know what's going on.
Number 1.
Was saying, because I too thought that, and you said, people said, why didn't members of his inner circle speak up about what many believe was the apparent decline of Joe Biden? You said you're a member of the inner circle and you never saw the decline. And after that, I wrote, how? Yeah. You even write, Karine, that you were on the plane with him going to the debate and you didn't see anything.
Well, when we were on the Air Force One going to the debate, you got to remember his campaign people were on the team, his family was on the team. I actually was one of those rare trips that I didn't really see him until after the debate, even though I was on the plane. So really, I want everybody to know that I take this question incredibly seriously.
No, you don't.
I do. I was his White House press secretary, which means I had a role that saw him practically every day and traveled with him.
And you saw nothing.
For more than 95%. We've always said, we're not going to say, oh, he didn't age. He aged. And he poked fun at it. We always owned up. And with age comes what happens when you get older.
Okay. Wait. What? No.
I got hairy legs.
Come on. So that's former White House Press Secretary Karine Jean-Pierre on her book tour across all the fake news legacy media outlets. And there she is on CBS this morning about her time with the former president of the United States, Joe Biden. And she's trying to double and triple down. Like, I never saw anyone who wasn't there. I saw someone who was always engaged. That was part of what she talked about as well in this interview. Like, you're going to double, triple down on nothing to see here, move along, he's fine.
Drew's Top 5.
Yeah, you know, he aged, he got a little older, but, nothing out of the ordinary. Like, she left the Democrat Party. She's now an independent, allegedly. And I'm supposed to buy your book when you can't even be honest with me about that? Like, why would I do that? D, can you explain to me, why would I buy somebody's book who, while they're trying to promote the book, lies to my face and tells me, Joe Biden, everything was fine. He was getting older, but no problems here. Like, why would I?
No, I can't explain it.
Why would I buy that book? I can't think of why. Yeah, it's a crazy thing. Some of the things that were said over the weekend. Oh, by the way, how about this? So, over the weekend, Senator Tim Kaine, in a trivia question, that's the dude who ran with Hillary Clinton in 2016. her vice presidential pick. Okay, just in case you're wondering, like, Tim Kaine, who's that guy? You saw him if you were paying attention in 2016. Annoying Democrat, as they all are. And Jay Jones, should he drop out of the race? Jay Jones, you know the story. I believe that on Meet the Press with Senator Tim Kaine from Virginia, in this Virginia AG race, as she was, Kristen Welker was describing.
Democratic candidate for Attorney General Jay Jones is facing bipartisan backlash after text messages he sent were publicized. I'm going to let folks know what they said. He effectively said that the top Republican lawmaker in the state should, quote, get 2 bullets to the head. He was asked about that during a debate this past week. Here's how he responded, Law.
Okay, so his response to this during the debate, horrible, right?
I am ashamed. I am embarrassed. And I'm sorry. If you were truly sorry, you would not be running for this office.
That's true. You wouldn't run for this office. Like, how could you say something like that? Even with the kids. Same thing with the children. I mean, despicable, horrible. Like, we should all reject this, and this person should be gone.
Senator, should Jay Jones drop out of this race?
And here you go. Just like a good Democrat, we got to keep the party together at all costs. Doesn't make a difference.
No, he shouldn't, Kristen. Those texts, private texts with a colleague, cannot be defended. They cannot be defended. But Jay Jones has apologized earnestly. The Republicans knew about these texts for years. They waited until the ballot was printed, and they waited until hundreds of thousands of people had already voted beginning on September 19th.
Yeah, he shouldn't have ran to begin with. It shouldn't have happened to begin with. It's politics. The waiting. Shouldn't. It's Republicans' fault. No. Let's go back to him. Why did he put that out there?
The voters will make up their mind about these texts.
It's just so crazy to me how Democrats will protect something like this for the party. Seriously? Now, don't get me wrong. I want you to keep doing these things, because if you keep doing these things, then you show the American people who you really are and what you're really for and what you're willing to protect. And if you do that, hopefully you will lose elections. The problem becomes when you have machines that are willing to, I don't know, let's just say if there's a political party who, I don't know, likes to cheat on elections. I know it doesn't happen in this country. I'm just making stuff up. So let's just say that were the case, and they do things, dastardly, if you will. And sometimes it's hard. It's difficult when people are trying to make light of it. Like, that's not that big a deal. It's really about the Republicans in there and waiting. You know, it's kind of like Mamdani in New York, and the fact that there's going to be a communist that's going to be running New York City, and it's terrible, and I can't believe that this guy's going to win an election, especially considering the latest news that came out on Mamdani over the weekend, where we find out, thanks to the New York Post, Mamdani in gleeful selfie with the World Trade Center terror-linked imam who called for jihad in New York City. But nothing to see here. Everything is fine. Arm in arm with an unindicted 93 World Trade Center bombing co-conspirator and terrorist apologist. It's fine. Because Democrats, because communism, because how do you defend that? But anyway, it's about the people voting for him. Are they genuinely going to do this? Look, I don't know. But I want you to listen to this part of the Tim Kaine apology, which our good friend Mike Opelka brought to my attention, political pundit, fill-in host. He's awesome. And he brought this to my attention. He's like, did you hear the rest of that clip? Like, listen to this.
The voters have to make up their mind in our governor's race. The Republican gubernatorial candidate spoke about pro-choice activists and said, murder is murder and your time will come.
Yeah, maybe the governor's choice was Republican was talking about the afterlife. Maybe what God might think about the killing of babies, that kind of thing.
The voters have to grapple with that.
That's not really grappling. But anyway, listen to this.
I've known Jay Jones for 25 years. I think this single text exchange that he had with a colleague was very out of character.
Hey, Dee, can I ask you a question? You're really good at linguistics and other things. You're like my ombudsman, and you're really good at math, too. So can you tell me something? This shouldn't be too tough. Listen.
Spoke about pro-choice activists and said, murder is murder and your time will come.
Now listen.
The voters have to grapple with that. I've known Jay Jones for 25 years.
Tim Kaine has known Jay Jones for 25 years. Jay Jones is 36 years old.
That's 11.
So wait a second. Tim Kaine has known Jay Jones since he was 11?
According to that statement.
I'm not saying that I don't believe that, but I don't believe that. Wait a second. So you've known him since he was... How's that possible? I mean, I don't know. Maybe it is possible. Maybe you've known him since he was 11 years old. But I've never heard him bring that up ever before. So he knew him when he was just an 11-year-old kid. Can you expand on that a little bit? Because I'm just asking. I mean, it seems maybe he shouldn't have done the math that way, or maybe he should have done the math in his head and said, I probably shouldn't say this. I've known him for a while. Maybe he made a mistake. I don't know, but I've never heard the fact that I knew his family, or I knew nothing. I don't know. Just seems really weird. So Michael Pelka brought that up. So it's like, that seems kind of strange. But, just Democrats being Democrats, allegedly. All right. 866-588-8303. I'm looking at the time. I can't be fair with any more clips, but I got a lot of them. So coming up, we'll put a bow on the show as we always do. And, I don't know, we'll bring up a couple of more clips. Some other things that are out there, including Jimmy Kimmel, who's really going to get back at Trump. I don't know if you heard about how Jimmy Kimmel got back at Trump. Libs of TikTok had this yesterday. Yeah, maybe I'll play this clip coming up.
You're listening to Florida's Voice with Drew Steele.
Babes, what are you doing?
What? I'm just mowing the lawn.
No, it's blazing hot and dry out here. Don't you remember? Smokey Bear says.
Avoid using power equipment when it's windy or dry.
Where'd you learn this?
Oh, it's on
SmokeyBear.com with many other wildfire prevention tips.
Right. Thanks, honey bear.
Because remember, only you can prevent wildfires.
Brought to you by the USDA Forest Service, your state forester, and the Ad Council.
All right, son. Time to put out this campfire.
Dad, we learned about this in school.
Oh, did you now? Okay. What's first?
Smokey Bear said to.
First drown it with a bucket of water, then stir it with a shovel.
Wow, you sound just like him.
Then he said.
If it's still warm, then do it again.
Where can I learn all this?
It's all on SmokeyBear.com with other wildfire prevention tips, because only you can prevent wildfires.
Brought to you by the USDA Forest Service, your state forester, and the Ad Council.
A lot of times you have to choose between something high quality or something that saves you money. But if you could get both, why not? Especially when it comes to health care, and that is MediShare. You get both. Many families save $500 a month with MediShare, and that's huge. But it's also true that people wind up way more satisfied, too. The member satisfaction rate for MediShare is double that of the typical health insurance plan. Double. That's because MediShare works. It has for more than 30 years. It's a community of Christians who have shared more than $5 billion of each other's bills. People love having telehealth. They love the huge PPO network. So, yeah, really, you can save a ton and like it better. Imagine being happy with how you're taking care of your health care. So if you're self-employed or part of the gig economy, or you just want a plan you're happy with, you can call right now and get a price in 2 minutes. Here's the number. Just call 855-SHARE-40. That's 855-SHARE-40. 855-SHARE-40.
Hey, it's Drew Steele. Look, if you're looking to take advantage of today's pro-business environment and strengthen your financial future, certified financial planner professional Alfie Townsend and his team at Advantage Retirement Group have got you covered. They specialize in advanced tax strategies, risk management, and retirement planning, all aimed at helping high net worth investors like you thrive. Now, Alfie wants to share those insights with you with his book, Keeping You on the Retirement Fairway. It's packed with practical tips and forward-thinking strategies to help you make the most out of your hard-earned wealth. Ready to get your free copy? Text BOOK to 239-747-7470. That's 239-747-7470. Don't wait. Learn how to capitalize on that pro-business opportunities that are out there right now and secure the confident retirement you deserve. Once again, text BOOK to 239-747-7470 right now, and let Alfie Townsend and Advantage Retirement Group help guide you toward a stronger, more confident financial future.
We're with Bridget, whose husband won't be home for months, and whose daughter is due any day. We're with Mike, who's leaving home to protect his family and yours. We're with all service members and their families who need community, connection, and maybe a bit of magic. Are you with them? Learn more at uso.org today. We're with Liam after his 4th military move, when being new is starting to get old. We're with Tara during the holidays, when she misses home the most. We're with all service members and their families who need connection, comfort, and a home away from home. Are you with them? Learn more at uso.org today.
Now, back to Florida's Voice with Drew Steele.
My car! 911, where's your emergency? No! That's my car! I don't care who's about to tell you my kid's in there! I don't care! Ma'am, what's the address where you need help? Just want to come back. He brought my car back. Alright, what's going on? Somebody tried to tow it? No, some random guy at the gas station just tried to take off with my car. He noticed my son was in here, so we brought it back, but he literally about left with my child when I ran into the gas station. So he tried to steal your car? I guess he's apologizing, but he still just tried to steal my car.
Wow. Apologizing? So that was in Brevard. A 911 call released that revealed the moment a man briefly stole a car from a gas station in Brevard, realized there was a year-old child inside, and then went back in Cocoa. Wow. And stepped inside, noticed the car driving away with the baby inside, called 911. Wow, can you imagine? And then and he's walking around saying, I never would have taken it if I knew the baby was inside the car.
That excuses you from Grand Theft Auto?
Yeah, that's what that was my first reaction was, dude, don't take the car either. Like, don't take the car. Don't take the car with the baby inside. Don't go near the car. Just go get your, I don't know what you were doing there. Your gas, your Snickers, whatever. And that's the end of that. I don't know why I said Snickers. But, yeah, because I feel like I need a Snickers after hearing that. I don't know why. Just to get some energy. But wow. Well, that ended well. Not for him, but man, that's just a crazy, crazy clip. All right, what else do we have going on here? Okay, I guess, so, Libs of TikTok put this out yesterday. And I guess this was this from Friday's show? Jimmy Kimmel? So I guess it's kind of like a woke news story of the day. Okay, go ahead. Yeah.
This is Woke News Today.
Yeah.
With your host, Drew Steele.
Thanks, Biff. We are contractually obligated to give Biff credit during Woke News Stories of the Day. Jimmy Kimmel brought a grown man dressed up provocatively as a woman with ginormous fakeness to read books to kids to mock Trump.
I'm Kristen Patel. Do I scare any of you?
No.
Really?
You just look amazing.
Oh
Why would that be scary?
That is so affirming. Thank you so much. You guys look amazing too.
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah.
Well, I have a whole pile of books here. What if we chose one together? Because this is, after all, a democracy. As of this morning, it's still a democracy. I'm not sure.
What?
First up, we have Who Cares About Elderly People?
Yes. No. Yes. No. Yes.
This is Collectible Spoons of the Third Reich.
Okay, I gotta stop for a second. I don't know if I want to go any further with this, but so a drag queen to read to kids, not to the sick or the elderly or to kids. It always seems like it's that way. Maybe it's just me. I don't know. But anyway, so a drag queen reading to kids about Trump and books that are mocking Trump and the ideals of many different people across the country that are opposed to what the left believes. And it's why do you continue? Okay, I guess it's like this kind of gotcha, mocking kind of, look at what I just did, and doesn't that make you cool? No, doesn't. It doesn't at all. But, okay. So there's that. All right. I guess that's it for us. Look at this. We got to go. Hey, thanks across the state of Florida. Thank you so much for making this program a part of your day. We are truly humbled and blessed. We thank you so much. And we'll see you tomorrow.
You're listening to Florida's Voice with Drew Steele.
It's 4 a.m., Monday, and you're literally sucking baby snot through a tube because she's congested. Man, that's love. And if you love her that much, love her enough to make sure she's buckled in the right car seat. To make sure your child's in the right seat for their age and size, visit nhtsa.gov/the right seat. Show them you love them. Keep them safe. Visit nhtsa.gov/the right seat. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council. You let him try violin because you love him. And if you love him that much, love him enough to make sure he's buckled up and in the back seat. Find out more at nhtsa.gov/the right seat. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
I don't think that many kids in my son's school even do it.
No way.
No way. No way. No way. My kid would never vape.
Get your head out of the cloud. Talk to your kid about vaping. Visit talkaboutvaping.org.
You're listening to Florida's Voice with Drew Steele.